gassed up, like, he say he from up there where y'all at. He say he from New York. Well, upstate.
Upstate New York? Nah, we don't claim that.
Oh,
screaming at the top of your lungs don't make you that guy. Try to watch my style and replay it, don't make you fly. Don't take a break, cause the fake like the snake. When the big dog away, all they do is clout chase. When I enter the room, all they do is bout face. Put them lions on my back, then ball with the minister. Side put me on there, everybody wanna mimic you. Yeah, I thought I told you we the toughest here.
We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city. I can tell by your energy, you ain't really woke. He showed up to debate, but he choked. No money in his pocket, boy broke. Shit, the only thing he can teach is hope. Kill a spider, drown a fish, stomp a rose, do something. But don't come on side net up with the stunt. Everybody over here getting money. Touche hit me up, told me gon' run it. Guess I'm Carl Lewis. You looking dumb foolish. Nigga way upstate making soft music. Boy, this the toughest environment, show you how to do it. Mr. Toughest environment, show you how to do it. We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city. I can tell by your energy, you ain't really woke. He showed up to debate, but he choked. No money in his pocket, boy broke. Shit, the only thing he can teach is hope. We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city. I can tell by your energy, you ain't really woke. He showed up to debate, but he choked. No money in his pocket, boy broke. Shit, the only thing he can teach is hope.
Truths in the soul. Napah the queen, her crown never bends. Wisdom in her voice, the cosmos ascends. Jabari the veteran, the bass sharp as blades. Like a Reggie from the Browns, history's cascade. Apostle Bible soldier, scriptures in his veins. Santana general, war cries like chain. You need tough skin, where the battle begin. Source up your information. I'm a thick ass kid. Hey, okay. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Okay. Hey, okay. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Fire in his stare. Inky undefeated, a legend beyond compare. Moses 777, numbers align. Transfer me a prophet, stardust divine. I saw the family a debate where truth is born. Strings cry out, violins wail, 808's thunder breaking the veil. Human beatbox echoes through the fight. HOK warriors, their words ignite. HOK. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. On the scroll, Kimmy teacher, ancient truths in the soul. Napah the queen, her crown never bends. Wisdom in her voice, the cosmos ascends. Jabari the veteran, the bass sharp as blades. Dr. Reggie from the Bronx, history's cascade. Apostle Bible soldier, scriptures in his veins. Santana general, war cries like chain. You need tough skin, where the battle begin. Source up your information, I'm a thick ass kid. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in.
It's me like, set the mic. Diamond, the 33 vertebra, up the spinal curvature to the pineal merkaba that spins in my head and spread off the tongue and rhyme skills onto a vinyl circular. Became instant lords on liquid swords, the Bible determiner, the idol interpreter, the cycle of eartheners. I am Lord your God for worshipers, Merkaba. I ran out of room, I'm leaving the womb. I feel like I'm dying, I'm crying. Am I being pushed to my doom? I'm fading into life, draining from her waters, swimming, naming him Walter. Now I'm bathing in her light. I altered on the altar, the day walker, flaming into the night like fireworks that's vibrating 528 hertz. It's raining, the vibranium is ultra bright. Above my cranium, stars are shooting over. Nibiru exposure, meteor showers, supernovas. The meeting I supposed to write. Walking through the fire that was cold as ice. Poltergeist, took a glimpse into infinity. Saw a blimp that flashed my memories. The airport was empty, a rare quartz Da Vinci. My pen leads symphonies. You'll all perceive eventually. The orchestra of the August love in the orbits as a foreigner from the corners. Now she's in the forest with doves. Near lakeside, the waters with suds. Are you able to withstand quicksand on a remote island in the Bermuda Triangle during Mercury retrograde? But I'm verbally electro waves that echoes for days. Age, 1 foot in the threshold and 1 foot in the grave. Peaceful, I settle over the metal like sage. God switchblade for any witch or devil I made. I'll carve them up in 7 ways. The carbon dust, fluorescent rays. Placed them in a garden plush after 7 days. Napah sing.
Blood and flesh is always so expensive, but when you sacrifice the body, you can get this. Consciousness expanse is exponential, while your union is eternal and intensive. Butterfly effect is so connected. You see that I'm a wreck, are you affected? think it's rude for us to ignore them when they call. Thought I saw you in a shadow on the wall. Is that you? I see you standing down the hall. If I could turn back time, I would and make it stall. Help me focus, hold me up, don't let me fall. You are with me. You are with me. Couldn't leave you if I wanted to. Can't you see I wanna stay with you? You are with me. You are with me. Couldn't leave you if I wanted to. Can't you see I wanna stay with you? You are with me. You are with me. Baby, I wanna stay with you. Baby, I wanna stay with you. You are with me. You stay with me. Couldn't leave you if I wanted to. Eternally, I'm gonna stay with you. I'm gonna stay with you. Stay with you. 'Cause you are with me. You stay with me. The angels in the sky. The angel by my side. You are with me.
Da, da, da. Peace, everybody. Peace, everybody. Peace to the darkest minds of light. Peace to HOK family. Yeah, we're just gonna continue. I know I played a few songs because I wanted Sonnetters to end, but I dropped the link. If you would like to come in, you can. I just finally am done. I'm still not fully settled into my my element, but I'm done, and I wanted to get this started as soon as possible. But while he was ending his stream, I wanted to just get this started, to just let everybody overflow into the HOK Coliseum. Hit the like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We have a debate coming up. We have a few debates coming up. Before I even get into the topic that we were talking about, we have the one and only Mr. Morpheus. I like to call him the code breaker because he gets in there no nonsense. I think somebody took it down for some reason. Who took that down? Give me a minute, everybody. Peace, Ashe. I think Ashe come. Ashe, you can let yourself in, or I could let you up. Either way. But okay, so what was I saying? We have a debate coming up. The link to purchase the ticket is in the description. I will get to where I need to be and go get the link and drop it. If I don't have any mods who can do that already. But it is now a $25 ticket. If you waited to the last minute, it's okay. Still less than the regular 30, and it's more than worth it. You can watch this debate this weekend coming up. We have Mr. Morpheus versus Apostle Zaquan. Was Jesus a fraud? Is Jesus a fraud? Is Jesus a liar? Was Jesus a fraud? Was Jesus a liar? Get your tickets. And that is what's coming up. We also have, I want to highlight everybody. We have God Energy going up against Chief X. Oh my God, y'all, I can't even see this. The Moors who conquered Spain, Black/Negroid. Were the Moors Black/Negroid, the ones who conquered Spain. That's a $20 donation. Oh, these are great. Sonnetter's really setting these at a great price. Get your tickets now. Don't wait till the last week because Sonnetter's kicking those last week purchases up a notch to like $5. I mean, an extra $5, not two $5. Okay, so last but not least, we have our brother Sekou Kele versus Easy Bands. Our brother Easy Bands is going to be arguing that the Bible is the word of God. And Sekou is going to prove otherwise. For a minute there, Sekou had a whole $1,000 bet up there that he could win. So I don't know if that's still on the table, but this is going to be exciting. All of these are going to be amazing. Get your tickets, get your tickets. And so now, peace, Ashe, peace, Blackmail. Let's get back to what we were saying. You wanna go ahead and jump right
Peace,
in,
peace.
Ashe. I'm kind of in transition. I'm in transit, not in transition. I'm in transit. So what's going on? What were you? So I saw you. First of all, Ashe, I saw my brother Mikael challenge you. That would be an excellent debate for you. Woo, that'll be out the box, classic, perfect. Now, you've been doing debates for a long time, years. We know that. Well, people don't know that, but you could let people know. But here in the HOK, your first professional paid debate, that will be so fire. What do you think about that? You gonna take that debate or no?
Yeah, I take the candy from him. He a baby. I don't think that he's ready for really he got in there talking about the Caduceus has its origins in Kemet and with the Israelites. So just with misinformation like that, he's already in like deep water. So I just know it's more flim flam. Like I would love to have a debate with him. Sounds like he believes in the Exodus. Let's debate. Did the Exodus happen?
Oh, he believes in the Exodus for sure. He's a leader of the church. I'm sorry, Mikhail, I can't remember your church, but it's a pretty big church in Chicago. And you know, that's Chicago and New York are the two cities where, you know, the newest, I'm not talking about Cherry and everybody, you know, the One West so-called, but I know, don't come for me, Chicagoans. I know you weren't One West, but you know, like the latest original
Chapters,
Black Hebrew Israelites. What'd you say?
Chapters, if you will. Yeah, I'm very hip.
Yeah, chapters. There you go. We lost the brother Blackmail. He fell off. I was just gonna move on to you, Blackmail, if you wanted to come back. But yeah, this is a good conversation. I really, you know, I'm glad you're up here too. I can talk to you because you were mentioning in the chat, and our brother Lex Vortex talks about the Gnosticism. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. There is a benevolent serpent in Genesis 3 in the Gnostic text and in the Nag Hammadi. But I'm telling him I'm not fully subscribing to Gnosticism. I'm teaching my own thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you want to go in on that a little bit, I'm just kind of moving around in here.
And I think that's usually what we do with the Gnosticism, if you would. I think because Gnosticism is like that first step in separating yourself from the dogma of the religion itself and the way that it's kicked within the church and all that. And it takes away that mind control. Even when you see wrong in the Bible, just turn your head and just say God can do whatever you want. It takes that aspect away, which is usually like the first step in breaking the chains off of us, is just realizing the problem with the text itself. You know, then the following steps come. But I think a lot of times, and I think that's why Gnosticism is on such a rise now, because it takes that step, that first step that's necessary to actually probably even divorcing the whole Abrahamic religion itself. So hats off to you. Hats off to brothers like Seven Bomar. Y'all about the only ones who I heard really take the Gnostic, if you would, like the Gnostic elements and components and make your own thing dealing with it, which is what a true Gnostic is supposed to do. Gnostic is just coming from the word gnosis, those who know, one who knows. You know, you have it's different Gnostic teachings. You got Valentinius, you have Marcion is even a level of Gnosticism. A lot of people don't know that, but you have Valentinius is like the biggest one. So another one started with a B. Started with a B. It's over like Sethi and Ophite, of course. I think this is more of an Ophite conversation. Ophite, of course, meaning serpent.
It is.
Yep. So we're dealing with the office and the Ophite, which is the serpent knowledge, you know.
Right. I will tell you though, me personally, you're absolutely 100% right. But about Gnosticism being helping people get past the program. I will say for me though, Gnosticism it's a great foundation, but for me, I couldn't get fully immersed into the I couldn't subscribe to all of it because it still is even though it's a breakaway from back then. You talk about Marcion and you know the Gnostics, it still gets rigid after a while. That's what I always try to run away from, being a cult survivor. When people try to box me into something, and like our brother Lex, he always comes in, and shout out to Lex, if you're out there, hit the link. But he doesn't understand. Because I say Jesus is the serpent in the garden of Genesis 3, I don't have to fall in line with all the other, you know, about the demiurge, and I don't have to fall in line. So yeah, so I definitely hear what you're saying too. I don't know this brother that you mentioned, Seven
Bomar.
what?
Oh man, he brilliant, brother.
Bomar.
Brilliant, brother.
Okay, let's bring Black Mill in. I don't know. Lex is here. That's great. So Black Mill, did you have something to say? I'm gonna let Lex in.
Yeah, good go ahead. Yeah, bless Napah. Respect to Ashley.
I say, brother.
Sir Lex. What I wanted to say, Napah, from the beginning when I came in on the panel, because like I was saying, I was blessed enough every time you're having that conversation to, you know, chime in. So what I was saying, even just this cycle, I'll stick to my point from the start. If everybody was listening, they'll see I said that the snake in the world of symbolism, and even within the Bible, even in the Kemetic culture, the sun, S-U-N, the Son of God. We are children of what? The sun, right? Symbolism again. Horus and even Ra. Ra the star, which is the sun. The sun is a star, Rasta, right? I was just saying, even in our Kemetic culture, you could see that common thread going throughout, even in what the Bible, I mean, the Bible, we know the Bible is, some people would say copy, some people would say plagiarize, people use all type of words, but we know it's just a common thread within the whole theology of learning all these different cultures have that common thread. So I would just stick to saying that most of what we are seeing is the cycle of the sun when it comes to that. So when it comes to the whole Christ character, coming with the numbers, even the last thing I would say, even in Christ going down for the 3 days, which is the resurrection, right? It's 3 days is 72 hours, if you have to check it in hours, right? And the sun, the cycle of the sun moves 1 degree. That's astronomy. It moves 1 degree every 72 years. And these numbers, like the 144, 72, these numbers, you would see them in the Bible, 365, like Enoch lived for 365 years or whatever. And these things, all these things is even Samson. If you type of Samson really means something to do with the image of the sun or whatever. So it's just solar biology, if you understand, to a certain extent, if you could take it on that level. So it's still representing the Son of God,
Definitely, we always go back to astrotheology. That's actually the root of all of it. But it's not. But so I hear what you're saying. That's great that you mentioned that, and I appreciate you being here. Let me let Lex get the mic because I know he wants to come in, and I can finally actually talk to you too. And I'm sure you want to talk to Shay. So peace to you, Lex. What would you like to add further?
Not really much. I mean, I'm just tuning in. They said y'all was continuing the conversation. When it comes to this conversation about the Serpent, anybody remember Josh from ABT?
Not really. You have to refresh my memory.
Josh, he was one of the he used to be a major enemy of the Hebrew Israelites. The Josh, what was ABT? What did that stand for? But anyway, he was a Christian, but everybody knows Josh. I'm surprised you know. But anyway, me and Josh had a debate.
I don't know, but go ahead. Sorry.
In 2014, me and Josh had a debate on whether Jesus was the serpent on Blog Talk. It's probably still up. If you go to Blog Talk. So like that was 12 years ago.
Yeah, why don't you bring
So
that out so I can see it? Because I never heard anything about it.
so and even in the debate league, just about every day I was beating up anonymous Hebrew and um Yara about the serpent and all that. But that doesn't even mean
No, you
anything. I
weren't. No,
mean,
you weren't. No, you weren't. You weren't
that
saying
doesn't really.
Jesus. Wait. No, we're here
But
now. We're
I
you
don't
and
want to
me.
get.
No, we don't
But
have to.
I
But
don't
you
even
made
want
a
to.
statement. But you made a statement though.
Yeah, and the statement is true. I don't want to argue the
No,
statement. I
actually,
mean,
the statement isn't true because I was there in the league with you, and you never in your life said Jesus of Genesis 3 was a serpent in the garden. And if you did, go grab the teaching. It's not hard. I have about 10 different teachings on different platforms on this. And you tried to
so
pull
you're
that
going to
when I
see the
first.
debate with Josh from
Sure. Yeah,
2014.
that's why I said brief. Yes, I would like. Listen, if you
I
bring
mean,
it.
I really don't have an ego about it. That's what I'm saying. I don't really
No,
like
well,
if
well, guess what? And
I
I'll have
really
an
don't care
ego. I'll
about
have
that.
an ego with it. Gee, this is the thing, y'all. You
All
don't know
right,
the
so
background. Brother. It's
I'm not
all
trying
love,
to
but
get
I
in.
need to straight. I'm gonna hand you the mic again, but you came out the box. This is what Ashe said. You fire and then you don't like the fight. Let me say this. You came out the box because see, Lex and I have a history. In 2020-ish, possibly 2021, I think it was the end of 2020 or 2021, I brought out my teachings of Jesus being the serpent in the garden, Genesis 3. You first said that I sounded ridiculous, just like my brother Sanchez. You said I didn't know what I was talking about. You said I was wrong about it. And then you walked around the community talking about, I stole it from you. On God, you said that. So I'm clearing the air right now. As of today, I still will challenge you and say, show me where you were teaching it. Because see, if somebody came like today when Sonetter did that stream, shout out to Sonetter, he said, Napah taught this first. I can go grab about 7, 8, 9, 10 videos of me teaching it. Check. I want you to show me where you were teaching this so I can say, damn, you were right, Lex, but I still didn't. You said I stole it from you. You said I learned from you. That's absolutely wrong. So if you want to say you came out, because that's the first thing you said when you got on this panel, you didn't say, let me tell you why. So if you want to say that you were teaching this before me, I will believe you if you show me. If you can't, in this environment, we source up or shut up, and then we move on and we talk about something else. And you know how I am, Lex. You know how I get it in. I'm your arch nemesis. You say I'm your student. I'm your arch nemesis. It's all love. Now, if you would like to continue forward and talk about the topic, let's do that. But what you're not going to do is come in here, like my brother said, and flim-flam me and try to come in and act like you were teaching this before me. No way, no how. All right. Now, he left, or is he still here? I don't know. He left? That's my son. All right, I love you. Come on back if you need to. But you saw what he tried to do, right, Ashe? You ain't coming in here talking about in 2014. Prove it.
I can't believe he ran. As soon as you told him to show you where it was
Lex
at.
is terrified of me. He's terrified of me. See, because he knows I'm his mother. He knows I'm his mother. I'm Stemia, baby. Lex, anybody who was there in SVDL, they were talking about Stemia, praise the goddess Stemia. I'm Stemia, Lex. Now you can come in here and talk about it. I'd love to discuss it with you, but don't come in here talking about I was doing this and that. And all of a sudden, watch this, Ashe. Once you come in acting like you taught it first on the slide and I bust your pinata wide open, now you don't have ego. Guess what? I'll have the ego. I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
You know what they
Go
do,
ahead.
Paul, that I really hate, and it really touched my nerves. It's when you ask that brother, you say, if you got it, show me it. He wanted to pigeonhole, hide out, and say, I don't want to argue about. No, it's not an argument if the sister is just asking you to show what you're saying. That's that red herring stuff. That's that smoke and mirrors. I don't want to argue. Yeah. No, we're not here to argue. We're here for you to source up your statement.
And besides, let me tell you about my brother Lex. You like it, I love it. Lex, I'll always be here to go back and forth with you. Let me say this though. That's one of my most vicious opponents. You know who got me tough? That man. Every single day at SVDL in 2019. I'm getting in my feelings now. He harassed me because I was teaching on a level that he teaches on. I'm not going to hate on him. See, I'm going to give him his flowers. And he didn't like that because I wouldn't bow down because I wasn't being a pick me. And I was killing them over on SBDL. Killing them, Ashe. Like how you're coming in and killing. I was a newbie. I was killing them. And they just couldn't stand it. So shout out to Lex Vortex. It's all love. You don't come in here with that. You did it first. Just come in and talk about it. Because I'm still waiting to see all your teachings, Lex. You got some great teachings on other things. We align with a lot. But when you come in here trying to play me and act like I was doing this and that, show me. Like we said, show me now. Now, let's move forward. It's all love. It's no problem. I want him to come on. Here's Easy Bands. Here's my brother Morpheus. Let's see who else. We got Revelation in the house. We got Morpheus in the house. And we have Easy Bands in the house. Peace to everybody. And I'm just gonna, I'm here, Ashe, but if you could just kind of like navigate, work the controls for me.
Yeah, I got you.
I'd appreciate it because I'm, like I said, I'm trying to get settled in. Let's go to Easy Bands and then I'm gonna mute out and let you help me out with this if you could co-host with me. Go ahead, Easy Bands, peace.
Salute, Napah. Appreciate you bringing me up. I'm not really. We've had this discussion before, me and you. We've had this. Well, I won't call it a debate, but we've had this conversation going back and forth. You brought your proof. I brought my proof. I feel that I won. You probably feel that you won. So we don't really have to rehash it or whatever. But of course, my stance is that Jesus is not the serpent in the garden. And then, but then I also agree that you're like the only person that I've really heard in this community speaking on this topic and really like pushing it. So I'll give you your flowers there.
Right. And Easy Bands and everybody, I want to make this clear because Morpheus mentioned the Gnostic text, the Nag Hammadi, Ashe, even Lex. I'm not saying, I've been no one in the world has ever. What I'm saying, my issue is like people like my brother Lex, and I'm not gonna, Easy Bands. I know you don't agree. We had a back and forth on this for like two hours or more. Yeah. So it's that Lex Vortex. We have a little bit of a history, and he's always trying to make it like, Napah. Let me get off Lex. Let me talk about everybody. I see Brother Sanchez talking about my teaching, Jesus is the serpent. The whole internet is teaching Jesus is the serpent now, okay? So when you're in a community, to have some integrity, if I come in and I say, my teaching's the flat earth, nobody, this is my teachings, I'm groundbreaking. People are going to look at me and go, are you stupid? Brother Sanchez is on that, like, that's his thing. If I come in and say, watch this, my teaching, the Canaanites are white, what are y'all going to think right away?
Chief X.
Not Chief X. Yeah. Actually, you're right. Chief X probably, but that's Naphtali's thing that she teaches, right? And it's just a community thing for me. It's like, how are you going to come in? Yeah, I'm going to hand the mic to you right now, but I'm just saying, like, how are they coming in and Deacon Hakah, Sanchez, and they're sitting up there talking about, and my teachings and the teachings, y'all can't even say one word. Like, remember when Napah was getting her piñata beaten up and by Morpheus and Reggie and all them. So,
let me say real quick, right?
Go ahead, Brother Morpheus.
Yeah, because I can't stay long, right? I just wanted to say real quick, right? Now, I'm 63. Right, I've been studying for about 45 years. You are the first person I ever heard bring that up, right?
Wow! Wow!
And I said, what?
Wow! Thank you.
So I went back and do some more research, and I found, and I was like, yo, she's right. She
wow.
See, I'm the kind of person, right, that I'm like, truth is truth. Truth is true, right? And it is what it is. And I'm like, you are the first person that I ever heard bring that up. You know what I mean? And I got to give you your props and flowers. That's why I was like, yo, she's right. She's right.
I got to drop a bomb for you.
You know, I went back, looked it up, did some.
Go ahead. My bombs are kind of off.
So I just wanted to tell you that, right, that I can attest to it, that you're the first person that I ever heard. You know what I mean? And I've been in a lot of circles. I've studied with a lot of the great, what we call great teachers and
Yes, you
masters,
have.
and I never heard that. So when you first said it, I was like, what is she talking about? What is she talking about? But that attests
Oh,
that we
wow.
don't, that's a test that we don't know everything, people. We all don't know everything.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And we have to be humble enough when someone does present something, right, that maybe you may not be familiar with, right, and give them their flowers. So I give you your flowers on that because you taught me something, made me go back and look. And I was like, yo, she's right. She
Wow.
ain't make that
Coming
up.
from you, Morpheus, because you don't, like you said, you do the research, you don't put your feelings in it. That is an honor and a blessing. And I got to get this soundbite. So also, I want to say this. When I first brought it out, I was excited. You know how a kid is like, I can't wait to show everybody. And I started getting bottles thrown at me, tomatoes.
Yeah. And that's crazy because when I first did when you brought it up and I listened to it, watched the shows, and I started doing my research, and I was like, yo, she ain't making this up, yo. She, she ain't just grabbed this out the sky. You know what I mean? She's doing some research. She's doing reading and research. That's a lot of it that we do a lot of time, is outside of the circle. It's outside of the circle that we may be familiar with, and it may sound foreign to you, but you can't say it's bull crap or whatever if you have not researched it. You feel me?
Yes, thank you.
And that's what I did. So I had to come back and go, she right.
Oh wow, thank you.
I gotta ask you, Napah.
Talk about peer review. This is awesome. I needed this. Thank you. Thank you so much, Morpheus. It's all love always. I'm sorry, excuse me. Thank you, brother Morpheus.
All right, peace.
Peace and love. Yes. We'll see you this weekend.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be awesome. Peace and love. Thank you so much for that. That meant a lot to me. Go ahead, Ashe. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no problem. I gotta ask you the question that Lex Vortex did ask though, because I did like that question from the brother. When he said, and since you did, now you saying that you're not standing on Gnosticism, because that changes my whole look on what you were stating. Now I'm curious,
right?
And I'm no longer in the know anymore. So when you say that he presented the question, how would Jesus be the serpent, but then he's going against Yahweh? How does that work out?
Right. I never stood on Gnosticism. I just, I like our brother Morpheus said, I acknowledge that obviously there's teachings of a benevolent serpent, which is Sophia at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. A benevolent serpent in the garden. I don't base my teachings on, I want to be clear, I don't base my teachings. John Doe, can I see you though? I know who you, yeah, there you are. Thank you, my friend. Okay, so I don't base my teachings on Gnosticism, but I know that there are some similarities and that my teachings, obviously I've read before I started putting this all together, I read the Gnostic teachings. Now, Lex Vortex, his bone that he picked with me is because he's a Gnostic. Mm-hmm. So when he heard me say Jesus is a serpent in the garden, he went straight into, the whole, like you said, the triggers, like, well, if Jesus is the serpent, then how are you worshiping this evil God, the demiurge? So back to your question. I'm not a Gnostic. I'm not.
Wait, hold on, Napah. Let me say this before you do that, because my original question was that now that I know you not coming from the Gnosticism, because that's my understanding. I know you. At first, I thought it was more Gnostic, but you profess that you're not even coming from the Gnostic, even though you admit that there are certain points that could be seen as Gnostic. Right. With that admission and you pushing away from that, because my original excuse for you to him was that, well, in Gnosticism, they don't Yahweh and Jesus, they opposition. But you say you're not coming from the Gnostic point of view. So without that, my question is, what is the relationship between the serpent, who is Jesus, you say, and Yahweh, or God?
What's the say that one more to ask me
What's
the
the
question
relation?
of
Like,
what's
what's
the
their
what?
relationship
Okay, between the okay, so we're getting
between
back to just
Jesus,
the bare bone.
between Jesus the serpent and God?
Got it. Now, God is really ambiguous. So I've taught
Yahweh.
this before. Yes. So Yahweh in the Bible, we're talking about the God of there's Yahweh, this is for me now. There's Hawa, who is Eve. That's the first God. And then there comes the God Yahweh that's first and foremost, sorry, Kassad, borrowed from the so-called pagan stories. And then they go and they start worshiping with the Midianites. And now that is the Yahweh that we know pretty much today. That's in the Torah. So there's all these different facets. I got to point that out first before I get started. I worship and I know an understanding of an unfathomable God. That's another thing. I've been saying that unfathomable God, which is like the mysterious God or the unnameable God. It's all the same. So yes, so there's an unfathomable God that once I even say unfathomable God, it's no longer the unfathomable God that I'm I don't want to say too much about the Kabbalah, but we understand that there is the unnameable, the unknown, the unfathomable God
beyond our comprehension.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. So when we talk like Ein Sof and all these great things, so when I have to put it in little categories, for context and for speaking, that's what I'll do. So when I use Gnosticism, Kabbalah to try to give you an idea of what I know, what I've come to the conclusion in my worship, there is one unfathomable God, and then everything is as a hierarchy comes underneath that. The Elohim are manifestation. When we easy bands and I'm getting about your creation thing, it's a manifestation of the unfathomable God. Okay, now they are entities that have manifested in the flesh or not the flesh, in the material in this realm. The Elohim was
repeat that, please?
So when you talk about creation, when you talk about Jesus isn't created, everything besides the unfathomable God is air quotes created because they manifest from the whatever you want to say, the like in the Kabbalah, the Ein Sof, they come out of it. It's like it's condensed down for our understanding in our existence. So we have the God of all gods that you can't even fathom. Once I name it, it's no longer that God. That's why they don't name it in these point. Yes. Okay. So that's mine, the unfathomable God. Then we have a hierarchy of like the sub God group, which is the Elohim, Jesus, anything that we know, Yahweh, Satan, all of these entities that are put in these categories for angelology and demonology, all of these entities are now in this realm, and we can understand them. We can't wrap our minds around the unfathomable God, but we can understand them. And that's where I'm answering your question. Jesus, the serpent that he morphed into, or it wasn't even a serpent, it was just like a light fiery being, like a shining being. But whatever it was, that was a part of an Elohim group, and they were doing their own part in benevolence or malevolence, depending on the context and who's being affected. So my answer is Yahweh, Jesus, Satan, Michael, all of those entities are a part of that body that is the Elohim. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, and I would like to also state that, and I'm gonna lay in here and I'm pass it off, that this is a PSA, so don't nobody ever say, man, Ashay got it from Napah, When way back when I had my first presentation, far as the plagiarization in the Bible, when Aunt came on, he gave his little litness and he asked, what do they believe? And I said, I'm a neo-Gnostic. She just basically broke down in so many words, and I wish my cousin Elk was here in the building so because he shares the same points. That's the whole view, where it's not necessarily Gnostic, because you will have to accept those old Gnostic ways, but it's
Right.
taking that Gnostic understanding. You feel what I'm saying? Like the archons, they represent like the Elohim, if you would. And
yes, those are the archons. Yeah.
And then you move on to like the Parorma, and then of course you have the monad, which is the unknowable, the unthinkable. But even the fact, like you said, the fact that you can even put a label on it takes away the potency of the role. See that's how I think. That's how Sophia Stewart wrote The Matrix.
And that's my sister. She is my oracle. That is I gotta bring Sophia on. Definitely.
So,
Sophia,
Napah.
yeah. So thank you, Ashe. And I know it's your original thing. We became hypersensitive about what we bring. You know what? Before you go, Easy Bands, let me tell you something. When I joke around saying I'm on my indigenous black man, shout out to indigenous black man, because he is the number one. He'd be like, they stole that. They stole that. I was teaching that.
Hey.
So listen, you want some acknowledgement. You do this research. I'm gonna let you go, my brother. You do the research. You take the hits. And when, you know what I mean, you want somebody to say, oh, yeah, and I remember when so-and-so did this. It's not going to take away from your originality and your teachings and your learning, but you just want the acknowledgement. Anyway, go ahead, Easy Bands. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I could actually relate with you on that, like more than you even know. Trust me, because I'm Christian, right? A lot of things that I say just go over people's heads. They don't even listen. They just tune out just because I'm Christian, right? And then 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later or a week later, I hear somebody regurgitating what I just said, and everybody's like, hey, so I understand exactly where you're coming from.
I know. I heard you say that, and I agree with you. I'm glad you empathize. So definitely we have to just fight. We have to fight for our spots, And then when we fight, we dig that space out, and we finally got our niche. And then we see somebody sitting on the same person who was kicking you out is like sitting there teaching while you're teaching, like, oh wait, hold on.
Exactly.
But anyway, Revelation. Go ahead, Easy Bands.
I think maybe it might have been Ankh who was talking about all of a sudden he started talking about the placebo effect. Yeah. But even Ankh right now is getting beat up off a topic that I started, man. With the scientific method. Ankh is getting crushed with that right now, man. It's good to see, man. So
shout out to our brother Ankh, and shout out to the pseudo killers, because I know there's a feud between, I guess, the bomb squad
between the bomb squad and the pseudos.
Word.
Okay, so let's let Revelation get in here, because this is our brother Revelation.
Peace.
Come on in,
love,
brother.
Blessings
Peace.
to one and all. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I can't stay. I'm basically gonna do what Morpheus did, but I also would like to give you your flowers, Napah, Shadah, because you're definitely an inspiration, in the sense that when we're given thoughts that nobody else knows or is teaching or has not been revealed just yet, it's very difficult. And that the serpent thing, like I said, you're the first person, I have to say it, that I myself ever heard that from. Now, I still have to do my full research on it. I'm not going to lie to you, but I would like to say thank you as somebody that has my own, revelation that I brought to the HOK that no one else is teaching, which was about the word of God. Me and Sanetta, we go at it when we say, well, I tell him the name of God is just simply Ah. And when he's like, the name of God is Ah, I say, yeah, it's like the breath of life, and every single human being would say it at the extreme point of emotion, regardless of race, color, creed, class, ethnicity, or language. You would say it. I could break it down now, but I want to stick to the topic. So I want to tell you first, thank you.
Thank you for acknowledging that. I appreciate the love.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The breakdown is basically easy, and it's even biblical as well. But okay, how can I do it? In your extreme point of emotion. Now, firstly, it's the breath of life. Every child, every single living child, human being, that's what they say when they're born. You can check it out for yourself. The breath of life is basically the sound of Ah. That's just it. AH or AHA. Because they spell it different in the Bible.
But when you said
now,
that,
when
Revelation, wait, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Revelation. Right when you said that, I
yes,
thought
ma'am.
of the newborn baby. I thought of a newborn baby when you said that. Anyway.
Thank Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And you would be 100% correct. And this is the research that I've done. I was so stupid. I literally looked at different ethnic backgrounds of women making babies, as if the child is going to say something different, right? All babies say the same thing when they're born. And if they don't say it basically means that the child is dead because the child is not breathing. Now, if you're in extreme pain, like if somebody was to hit you with a hammer on your foot, regardless of what language you're speaking, everyone, when you're in extreme pain, you bawl, because it hurts. You know, when you're extremely tired before you go to sleep, you would yawn, you say, and you just yawn. When you're laughing, it's like, so it's basically the same thing, but only at your extreme points of emotion. And for the people, the biblical people, who, your yardstick is the Bible, it's actually all over the Bible. But if you want a reference, the one that sticks out to me the most, I would have to say is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 24, where he literally calls out all of the titles, and then at the end he says, like giving you the name, you know. But I also want to get at Ashe, because I didn't get to tell you this, my brother, when we was over on Sarnetas, in terms of Rastafari. A lot of people, I even saw somebody in the chat saying, Revelation, he's a Rastafarian, but he's also talking about Christianity and Jesus. So my thing with this type of thinking, I would have to ask you, Ashe, are you familiar or are you aware that Haile Selassie the First was a Christian? Did you know that? Is he there?
Wait, hold on, wait. My statement was that I understand that Rastafari stands on Christianity. That's what I said, right?
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay. Well, then you probably would agree because you probably done the research. But a lot of people say that, and the truth is, Haile Selassie teaches us that we should seek salvation through Christ and Christ alone. So, for all the people that would like to think that Rastafarianism is something totally different or it doesn't deal with Christianity, it's just not true. And that's why I personally, this is just my humble opinion, because if you're following the teachings of His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, there's no way you're going to deny Jesus Christ. So that's just my little take on it. But Napah, we have a really tough job when we're bringing a school of thought that's probably hidden or nobody ever knows about it. I was really confused with the serpent thing. I'm still a little confused. I'm gonna do my research and I'm gonna listen to you teach and learn. All right. So that's basically my take right there.
Now, what I did want to say, go ahead in the park. I see you came up.
No. I was just saying thank you. Go ahead, Ashe.
What I did want to say was that, and my whole point was that me and the brother, he brought up the Africanness of Rastafari, and then of course he gave me the word Negus or Negus, there's something like to call it.
Yes,
this thing that it meant Serpent King, and I respect the brother Blackmail, but there's nothing wrong with being corrected. I'm wrong all the damn time. You know what I mean? I'm not just right all the time. I'm not God. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? We can all be wrong. He was
Likewise.
wrong.
Yes, sir.
He was wrong in his statement of Negus meaning Serpent Kings. It means King of Kings, which is cool. He was on track. And then I brought up the language.
That is true. That is the truth. You are right.
Right. Then I brought up the language, which will be the Giaz script, which is a priestly script. You know what I mean? It comes with a doctrine attached to it when it comes to Africa. And I was just bringing up the origin of it, how it's developed, how it was developed with Arabic Semites outside of Africa, brought back into Africa, and then I had to, of course, share my screen and show the people that.
So I say what I'll disagree with that what you showed, because what you showed was one version of what some scholars say. Some scholars say that it came with a group from outside. It was influenced. Ethiopia or Eritrea were influenced by this group that came from outside, right? That back migrated. But the majority of scholars actually disagree with that. They say that there's always been influence back and forth between Ethiopia, Eritrea, that area, and the southern part of Saudi Arabia, and that the actual script itself was developed in Ethiopia, Eritrea, but then it might have some influence. But the script itself was developed and originated in that region. Just like the same way, Kemet has their language, and it developed in Kemet, in that region. So it's similar with the whole Gears thing.
So I'm gonna do this real quick again, and if you disagree, we can just probably go further. We can hang it up. We can agree to disagree. I don't really care. Respect. But and once again, I only use ChatGPT as the fact checker when I make my statements. I always make my statements first, and then we come here. This is what it comes to when they don't believe me. The arrival of the Ge'ez script. The migration of the Semitic speaker, just going back to 1500 to 800 BC, the Ge'ez is a Semitic language, making it a distant relative of Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic. Long ago, groups of Semitic speakers from southern Arabian Peninsula, modern-day Yemen, crossed the Red Sea into the Horn of Africa. The back migration. Linguists call this a back migration because of the broader Afro-Asiatic language family that actually started in Africa. These speakers left for Arabia. Then their descendants returned centuries later with a distinct Semitic tongue, the Highland settlement. These migrants settled in the further northern highlands of Tigray, Ethiopia, and Eritrea. They didn't replace the local people, but lived alongside them, blending their culture with the indigenous Cushitic-speaking populations, ancestors of the Aga and the Beja. The kingdom of Dimit in the Sabaean influence. By the 8th century BCE, a kingdom known as Dimit, pronounced as Demat, rose in the northern Ethiopia. The script during this time, the people used a script called epigraphic South Arabian or Sabaean. It was a consonant-only alphabet. Even here, we see Arabian influence all over it. The transformation over time, the language spoken in Ethiopia began to diverge significantly from the language in Arabia. While they kept the skeleton, which would be the backbone of the South Arabian alphabet, the grammar and vocabulary became uniquely Ethiopian. So they do develop, I like to use that word ethnogenesis, right? So it's a certain development of the language. Like I said, it's like a hybrid language, if you would, but without the Arab influence and that Semitic influence, we don't have the Ge'ez script at all.
Can you just ask ChatGPT whether if there's scholars that say that it originated in Ethiopia, Eritrea region?
Of course,
rather than coming.
Are there
with and remember what I said? There might be some influences, but from what I read, majority of the scholars say that it originated in Ethiopia, Eritrea, with some influences. But go ahead.
Originated in Ethiopia. Spelled that all crazy.
Ethiopia and Eritrea region.
Hold on, let me get my shit together. Eritrea.
Because you see, with this whole thing about the Semitic language and the Afro-Asiatic languages coming from the Middle East, I believe that
Yes, there's significant and growing body of scholarly work that argues Ge'ez in the broader Ethio-Semitic language family is indigenous to the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia, and Eritrea. While the traditional out of Arabia theory was the academic standard for decades, modern linguists and archaeologists have challenges centering on a concept called African origin of Semitic.
Yep,
which is
that's what I was about to say.
Agree with that. I'll keep going though. Hold on, let me get all the way through it. So the leading proponents, several key scholars have used geolinguistic and archaic heterogeneity arguments to support an indigenous origin. In 1967, one of the first to formally propose the Semitic language family actually originated in the Horn of Africa and then spread into the Middle East rather than the other way around. Grover Hudson, a major figure in Ethiopian linguistics, who argues that sheer diversity of Semitic language in Ethiopia, over 16 distinct languages compared to the Middle East, suggests that Ethiopia is the homeland. In linguistics, the area with the greatest internal diversity of a language family is usually the point of origin. 1997, he argued that the Ethio-Semitic was an independent subgroup already present in Africa when the South Arabian influence arrived. He viewed the Arabian elements as a later cultural layer, not the this is BS. And the reason I'm gonna make this, and I'm gonna say this. The reason I say this because we see the real talk. Because we see the development of the Semitic language starting in places like Acadia, like Akkad, and no, this is real talk. So it's not Akkadian One of the oldest.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you right now.
Semitic language that we know.
I say, let me tell you right now, man. I say, God energy would be against you right now because God energy. Well, I know. He's the brother, man. Trust me. It's all good energy, all right? Good energy between me and y'all, man. So listen, what I'm saying is that God energy would be probably on the side of, hey, man, let's give credit to Africans or the Horn of Africa for inventing some of these languages and not always ascribe it to the Middle East and all these people, right? Which used to be what the scholars would do. They would just automatically say, you know what? These Africans were influenced by the people from the Middle East, right? Instead of the opposite way, right? And so that's what I'm saying. And even if you look at,
that's why they make the term, and this is a later created term, Afro-Asiatic.
Yeah. So and even if you look at, there's characters like Abraha. I don't know if you want to search him up right quick. I think he was an Ethiopian king or something like that. And so Ethiopia was, you know that Ethiopia colonized a lot of Saudi Arabia and actually took Christianity out there, which is something that
my understanding, like when you get Axum, Mero, they was kind of like together, if you would, though.
Yeah. So there was a whole
Can I
empire
chime in? Can I chime in?
To Yemen, right?
Who that's saying that? So I can make sure I get you right in.
Yeah, that's blackmail there.
Blackmail. Yeah.
Okay, I get most definitely.
Just 1 second. So there was a whole like culture from Ethiopia. It went to Yemen as well. And a lot of times the people don't know this history, but you always hear about how, Europeans basically were missionaries that brought Christianity to Africa and stuff like that. You never hear the story about the Ethiopians that were missionaries that conquered Saudi Arabia and took Christianity out there, bro. There's several figures in history that led up to Islam. Like one of them, the most famous one that I know is Abraha. That was his name. Anybody wants to search him up, y'all can search him up. But go ahead, Blackmail.
Brother Blackmail, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I just wanted to say, if you go back and watch the video from Baisanera, you see when I said that niggas also means like Serpent King, I also said King of Kings. So if you go back and watch the video, you could see I said that, because as a Rastafari, if you don't understand that as a Rastafari, that's like basic, trust me. And even on what Revelation was saying, Revelation would admit there are brothers that don't use the Bible at all. Am I? Even if and they would still glorify the King. Rastafari, not just you accepting because because I watch all black movements as liberation movements. That's how I watch them. So to me, the Bible is something most of us even if you're not a Bible person, normally you just be indoctrinated because you know some of the stories off your head, even if you're not reading the book, because most of us don't read the book. So what I was saying is the common thread within all the cultures is what I'm looking at, because I've passed that stage of even just interpretation, because we as Rastafari, we have our own interpretation of the Bible. So if I go and read the Book of the Dead, I will have my own interpretation of the Book of the Dead, of how I see. That's why I could come and talk to you like that. You see what I'm saying? And then what I'm seeing, if somebody's not worshiping God or don't believe in a God, whether you think the most I wouldn't say common thing, but the only thing you could point to, which our ancestors and all the cultures was pointing to, is the sun, brother. If the sun doesn't come up today or tomorrow, most of us, you know what would happen. That would be disaster, if you understand the whole movement of the heavens, right? So I've been using the sun from the start, if you really check, and I gave you the numbers with the whole Christ story, the Jacob and his 12 sons. Like Jacob is the 12 constellations, and we have Christ and his 12 disciples, the same exact story repeating itself. In astronomy, you could see that. And we know how important these objects are in the heavens. And even science, what they call science, is studying your natural, the natural world, which is the outside world, is astronomy. And around you maybe is the ecology, and then you have all these different lodges and these things. So that's what it is. So that's what our ancestors knew as a science, because I was even backing you. If I tell you what I did for you, you wouldn't even believe, and we don't need to talk about it there. But even in your debate with the brother, because I was supporting you full time, I voted you more than once, I could tell you that. You see? Because, yeah, I'm telling you.
I thought you were done.
So, last thing I would say, Napah, the cycle of the sun, if you just take, even on the language, what you're talking about, I gave you a source, which is the most credible source. Theophil Obinga is a linguistic scholar from Africa who studied in America. He was a minister. If you go and study about him, he speaks the languages. I told you that. And you could have just typed it up simply and see the chronology. All the languages are related. I'm not against that. Anything that's older than this is like, they're all related, brother. So I'm not arguing language with you. That wasn't my point. And if you check, before Ethiopia turned to Christianity, they're telling you, you could type it up, it's Awi, Arwe, which they would show you a picture with a snake again, with wings on it again. And they're saying it's a symbol of worshiping the sun. They used to worship the sun before they turned to Christianity. And it's just symbolism. I just gave it to you. The 12, the 40 is your days, like the 40 days. That's why Haile Selassie was crowned on 1930, right?
Okay.
At the age of 12, he was in charge of provinces.
Okay,
right?
thank you. Thank you, bless you.
Yeah, just,
Thank
yeah,
you,
all
bless
right.
you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Now I need to get John Boy in here, and then we have Sunchild that's been waiting. I know you guys are doing a good build here, but let's get John Boy in. He's been waiting for some time now, and then Sunchild right after, and then we can, you guys can organically keep building on what you've been talking about. John Boy, thank you for joining.
What's going on, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Shout out to everybody on the panel. I first want to say, like everyone said, Napah, you was the first person I've ever seen came up with this topic of Jesus being the serpent. I haven't seen that nowhere else. So I definitely, I have to give it to you. Let me just bounce off my boy Blackmail. If I say his name right, man. Man, I grew up on the island too, so I grew up around a lot of Rastas, a lot of Rastas. You know, I say we don't even, either we call them Rastas or we call them Bobo. You know, Bobo Shanti. They have their own little community. It's like Rastafari. From what I understand, Rastafari is a way of life. It ain't even a religion. It's a way of life. They got their own camp, their own book. That's their own food that they eat, particular foods they eat. That's a way of life from what I understand about Rastafari. But to get on the topic, and Blackman, you could correct me if I'm wrong too on that. But to get back on topic, I would have to agree that Jesus is the serpent. On the last previous Shorty Easy Bonds, on the last, yeah, I messed with you, bro. You a fair brother. You listen, and I funk with you, bro.
Respect.
On the last platform, right, what Sanetta just got off of, Sanetta asked you a question. Sanetta said, "Well, did God die? Can God die?" And he was like, "Nah." Well, basically, you basically said that Jesus is God's physical form, physical body, right? So even though Jesus died, God still lived by his spirit. And them two are, so Jesus is God's human form.
No, what I said was Jesus is 100% human and 100% God. So the human side of him died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So God's physical form died, but his spirit lived on as God. So if going based on that ideology, on that, this goes back to Sanetta's favorite verse. I create light, I create dark, I create good, I create evil. I, the Lord, does all these things. So if Jesus is the serpent, then that means God would have to be the devil, right? You know what I mean? And to wrap it up.
That's the more toward the Gnostic teachings, though. That's not necessarily that Which God are you talking about? Like, we got to start, if we're going to, are you talking about according to the story?
That's another good question, Napah. Which God? See, I thought it was only one God, but I'm hearing Elohim and Yahweh and God and this God. I thought it was only one God, but he just has different names. Like, you know how they mention in the Bible that call me the King of Kings, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Alpha, Omega, and you know, it's one God with different names. You know, so I thought we was just talking about one God, but if God created evil, then that means he created. If he created evil, then that means he put Satan in charge, or whoever the king of evil is. He put him in charge. That means he created the devil. He created the serpent to push this evil agenda, sort of say, you know, to balance the scales. Mind if I'm wrong? You know, I'm open for correction, man. Go ahead, folks.
Let's let Sunchild get in here. Oh, but go ahead. Easy Bands respond, and then Sunchild. I know you want to get in, so go ahead, Easy Bands.
So, in the Bible, I hear what you're saying, brother, because you know some of those verses do say that. But I just wanted to show you that in the Bible, a lot of times, you know, one thing would be somebody would do something, and it would be attributed to somebody else or a group of other people, and you see examples of that in the Bible. And in a similar way, that's what you see with God, right? You see that they attribute some of the things to him because he's the creator of everything. So he's the ultimate at the end of the day, right? He's the ultimate source of everything. So even though somebody else did something, they might attribute it to him because he allowed it to happen. You get it? So because he allows things to happen for various reasons, it might be judgment, it might be to bless a certain group, it might be for his own reasons, right? He will allow certain things to happen. And when those things, you know, turn out to be like a negative thing, you know, sometimes what happens will be ascribed to him as well. I don't know if I'm clear or if I confuse you a little bit.
No, I understand. I understand. It's just as, yeah, I got you, too.
Let's let Sunchild chime in.
But you have a good point, though.
Sunchild, you here?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, thank you for waiting. What would you like to add?
I'd like to ask you a question or two, Ms. Napah, about the idea of the serpent in Genesis 3.
Certainly. I'm just
I heard the Gnostics being mentioned. The last brother, you said that was leaning towards Gnosticism in the idea that God is the devil in this concept of Jesus being the serpent. And my question to you is, how do you square? I mean, just to clarify that God here would be seen, Yahweh is seen as a demiurge or a lesser God. Right. But I'm not saying that you think Yahweh is the demiurge. I don't know that you think that, but that's the concept. That's the Gnostic concept, if I'm correct.
Right, it is.
And my question for you, Napah, how do you square the idea of Jesus being the serpent and also being identified as the devil and Satan in later books? How do you square those two?
It never just by looking at the text on its own without my programming, because there's nothing in there saying that it doesn't say anything is evil in there in that story in Genesis 3. There is this whole idea of rebellion, but there's nothing saying, okay, this is an evil entity, this serpent in the garden. And it doesn't even say that the Elohim are evil. So for me, I just have to release myself from the program and read it for what it is. And then I see who's the adversary. That's what Satan is. See, the adversary of mankind in that story, is it the serpent that gives them the truth? Or is it the Elohim? So that's when I embark on my path of, you know, dogma and doctrine and belief and program and worship and, you know, adoration for God, repulsed by another entity, which would be Satan, you know, so the answer is, that's how I square it. I just look at the story and then I say, oh, okay, the ones who are liars, the ones who are against mankind, and then I pointed out, oh, it's this Elohim in this story. You get it?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not only referring to Genesis 3 on its own. There's also later scriptures that talks about a serpent specifically as the devil and Satan. I'm not sure what scripture that is. And that's what I'm asking you to square with the Genesis 3 idea with the other scriptures that define the serpent as the devil and Satan.
Right. So we're talking about Isaiah. Go ahead.
No, if you could just cite those scriptures for me. Specifically, I apologize for asking you to do work, but
no, you're not. This is good because this is something that people ask, and it's a good question. So, Isaiah, Ezekiel, and the Book of Revelation, they refer to an adversarial being or entity. Not in Ezekiel, but in Isaiah and in Revelation, correct me if I'm wrong, it's called the serpent. There's something referred to as serpent.
Right. Or dragon as well.
Yeah, first off, before we get to the dragon one, they are all serpents. The good ones and the bad ones. They're all shining beings. When we talk about Nachash, seraphim, the shining beings, even what we call the cherubim, they're all. And when the brother was talking about astrotheology, my take on it is, and I'm not the only one, this isn't original, I'm sure this is so easy. When you look at a flame, it's wisping from left to right. It's how do you say it? Going, the word I forgot, winding. It's winding. And that is the motion. That would be the motion of a serpent. Right. So So I would figure that these beings that they're calling serpents are flames, stars, shining beings, you know, and they just have been titled as serpents because there are serpents that are, they have venom. So they correlate them or they compare them to the actual creature. So they're not really serpents. They're all. So my answer to you is those beings that you hear that are malevolent in these other stories are the ones from the Elohim who are against mankind. That's the answer.
So Napah,
there are good serpents and bad serpents.
Yeah, let me just let Sunchild finish up, and then you can hand the mic over. Did you get what I'm saying, Sunchild?
I do, and I do have another question, if I may. How do you then square, like the brother asked, if God is the devil? Is Yahweh the demiurge in your concept, and if not, how do we get God or the demiurge to be a good father again?
Okay, now you're going into Gnosticism, where there's the story of the demiurge being evil. That's a whole different story. That they put that story together. They put that story together to try to understand their existence. When I look at the story, my existence tells me that there is no evil and good are all relative and in context of what's going on. That's why I had to first look at the story before I said, oh, this is evil, this is good. I look at the story, I see where's my position from my view. And my view is that I'm mankind, and people that I love are mankind. So I can stand in the story and say, okay, that's evil. Why do I say that? What I see is a body of I use this scripture from the New Testament that Christ said, a house divided cannot stand. Those are the words of Jesus. There is no real, even in the book where they say, oh, the Elohim against the serpent, there is no separation. We see it as a separation. We see it as because that's how we fathom our existence. There has to be a dichotomy. There has to be the yin yang. There always has to be the one side this, one side that. There's that's how we live. That's what we're born into. However, I know that the body of all of the existing how do you say, these entities, these spirits, frequencies, energies, whatever you want to call them, there's not a evil one that is set against itself within the body. Even though I know that sounds hard, let me try to articulate this better. That's why I try not to talk about my personal feelings and my take. But this is the thing: there is no God versus the devil, evil, good. From my perspective, the Elohim are evil, so they're not God. Not the Elohim. Let me be clear. There's a in the story. See, I'm going back and forth. In the story, there's an Elohim that is against us, but it's also when you think about force, when you think about, you go into science, there's also going to be, the positive and the negative, right? So there has to be this one that's against us, and there has to be one that's for us, but they're all working together. They're not separated. So when you say, I think you're asking me like, why don't I see Yahweh or whatever as evil? First off, Yahweh is, it's a whole different conversation when we talk about all the death and stuff that's going on in the Torah and the killing. That's a whole different conversation. But the short part of this, of the answer is, there is no God in that story of Genesis 3 that is that's separated from Jesus. They're one doing their part. They're one whole machine. One is supposed to be working against us, one is supposed to be working for us. So yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to answer questions about my personal feelings. You know what I mean? Like my personal belief.
But hold on.
Because people don't get it.
But that contradicts. Okay, you know what? It's your personal thing, so maybe let's just drop it.
I want to say something regarding this demiurge thing real quick.
Go ahead,
just regarding this whole demiurge thing, because
the demiurge is not Gnostic at all. I want y'all to understand that. Whenever there's a shaper, and Ptah is a demiurge. You get what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me just go to the definition of demiurge. Real simple. My bad. Wrong screen.
Right. I hear where you're going, but he was asking in the context of this of the Gnosticism, but you can continue.
Yeah, but I don't. But even within Gnosticism, a lot of times we hear demiurge and we think evil. But even within the Gnosticism, Yahweh's not evil.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. You're on the right track.
He's confused.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
He has a misunderstanding of the environment which he's in. You get what I'm saying? So he goes about it in a very ignorant manner. So it falls back into that lingo of agreeable and disagreeable. How do you particularly view these things? Are you on the side of it? Are you against it? But the whole thing is that it's always going to be the demiurge if it's not the true God. And I think that even when Paul makes the statement of that God is unknowable, all of these other gods that belong to these pantheons that have these features of, it created the world, it shaped it, and it gave it that's demiurge all day. That's
right. I got you. I can rock with that. Definitely. Because you know what it is? Let me say this. We are into this whole, which is evil, which is good. And that is where we need that. Don't get me wrong. We need that in this existence. We need I keep saying like the split or the dichotomy or the yin yang, whatever, the two scales. This is what we are. This is how we exist. But we also, when we start to elevate our understanding, we know that's us. That's not everything. And it's, and then you say, okay, well, what does that mean? From a different perspective, like I can stand outside of a Muslim's life, or let me not even say Muslim, an atheist life, and say their perspective is there is absolutely no God. And that's how they're existing. My perspective is that there is a God. Right there, I mean, we're getting into a real deeper philosophical conversation, which this is all philosophical, but when I hear about the demiurge, I love what you said, Ashe. It's not about like, oh, yes, it's the things that they're doing is bad to us, right? It's affecting us in that way. But it is coming from a different place than just like, oh, that's so evil and it's out to destroy us. When we talk about Yahweh and all the destruction that's written in the Bible, first off, we know that that's coming out of people who are writing it. But I'll still go deeper and say that it's a universal mind of God. So I'll say, okay, it's a type of God. It is a personality, if you will. Since if we want to anthropomorphize it, right? I always mess that word up. But it is a type of the God in this pantheon, or what do you want to say, the Elohim in this group? It's a personality, so to speak. It's not for me to look at and go, oh, it's so evil like Marcion. I can't be like Marcion. I don't see it like that. Mm-hmm. Is it evil? Yes, but I'm not going to be like, and now we have to fight it with tooth and nail, because now I'm feeding my energy into fighting it when I could just say, okay, this happened in the Bible. That was women got raped. They went and unalive these people. You decide from your perspective, oh, damn, that's evil. Just like in the garden when I said, who is doing what to whoever? How does it affect me? So whatever. That might sound really confusing, but I'll let the mic.
That definitely takes
demiurge is
presented. Not that hard to understand.
But the demiurge is presented with negative characteristics, which makes it kind of identified as such as jealousy, wanting to be worshipped, demanding worship, and so on. And these personality characteristics are what makes him considered a lesser god from the Gnostic perspective, that is, as far as I know. Brother Ashe, did I hear you right?
Yeah, but wait, real son child, you just made me think of something. This is, maybe I'm throwing in even more of a tangled web, but look at this. The demiurge is about, this is what I do. I am this. This is about me. And that particular perspective is something that we all are tapped into, all of us. And when I don't want to hear about, like, when we say release it, we're talking about balance it, because then we go into selflessness. The Jesus or whoever is your entity that you worship serves the person. It doesn't tap into self. So what I'm saying is, we always have to insert our perspective before we start saying that's evil, that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me just ask you this, Mr. Pai. I see you separating from Gnosticism per se with regards to your views, but I do, as far as Gnosticism being considered a hidden knowledge, I hear what you're saying, coming off as some type of a hidden knowledge, and I'm wondering if you mind telling us where you first may have gotten this idea, if any type of tradition. I understand when I do a chat GPT, it's considered a fringe idea, and but I was wondering
I got it from my mom. I got it from my mom long time ago, but not the whole. My mother said all the time, like, you know, what was the lie, and then decades later, I was talking with I heard Sonnetter, we were talking to the panel, and he said, then he brought it back and he's like, the serpent didn't lie. And that's when I just went full force onto my path. Like you heard Morpheus and everybody else here, like it just pushed me into my search. Like, and I'm also searching other things out that I've been programmed in. I'm breaking the program and I'm looking into things. So the answer is, my mother was always saying, where was the lie? Where was the lie? And then as an adult, Sonnetter said on a panel, the serpent did not lie. And that's when I just went into my research and here I am now. Yeah.
So Napah, can you share my screen? I just wanted to read something.
To Brother Ashe before I leave, please.
Of course,
Napah,
go ahead. Of course, let me get Easy Man after you.
I'm sorry, Easy Man. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to go ahead and finish up. Brother Ashe, did I hear you correctly? You identified as a Gnostic?
I'm more of a neo-Gnostic, but yeah, for the sake of conversation, yeah, let's run it.
From what I understand, with regards to Gnosticism, they believe in a lower material world and a higher spiritual world. Do you believe in that?
Absolutely. I'm not an atheist.
Oh, that's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
like that. I
Thank
like
you,
that
brother.
neo-Nazi. Thank you for coming in. Those are good questions. And, we need more conversations. The thing about me, I'm going to be honest, why I'm apprehensive because I know the things that I subscribe to, I'm always under a microscope. Even me coming out and saying that thing about Yahweh, I just, I try not to share all of myself as far as what I've figured out. But there are things that I should share. Like I don't, I was about to say something. Let me shut up. Okay, let me let these bands go. Go ahead.
Just one last thing, just to follow up.
Holy, yo, Sunchild, the first time was cool, but come on, man, let me go right now.
Okay, brother, I apologize. And again, thank you, Napah, and peace, y'all. Peace.
Don't go nowhere, man. Yo, Sunchild, chill.
Okay.
Don't go.
Okay,
don't go
I'll
nowhere.
stick around. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be short. So Napah, I just wanted to bring out two verses for you, right? There's this one right here that shows that the serpent was created. Obviously, we don't find anywhere where it says that Jesus was created, right? And so that's just one. We'll come back to that, but let me just show you another verse right here. This is Genesis 3, verse 13. And this is Eve. God is asking Eve. Then the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me and I ate." So right there, you see that the serpent deceived, right? It's a deceiver. Because I think you were trying to like kind of like make it seem as though it wasn't like negative, or it wasn't doing something deceitful or wrong or whatever, right? That's what you're kind of implying, right? But you see in this verse that Eve accuses the serpent of deceiving her, which is basically lying. And then you see also that the serpent is created by God. And if you look at, so how do you unify this verse, which shows that the serpent is created by God, and verses showing that Jesus, or the Son, everything was created by the Son, Jesus. Everything was created by him, for him, and in him, basically. How do you consolidate those two things?
Well, there's two different things about creation. When we say everything created by Jesus, that would be what we know in our material realm, in this material realm.
I'll bring the verse.
Yeah, sure. So everything created in the material realm is created by Jesus and the Elohim together. Now, when we talk about Jesus not being created, that can't be so, because Jesus is a manifestation from. Again, I apologize to those who don't like the Kabbalah, but it helps me explain this. When we talk about the Ein Sof and condensing self down, the unfathomable God, that everything comes from that source. Everything, especially Jesus. So the Elohim, which is Jesus in that body of the heavenly beings, they come from, aka created from, that energy, that entity. It's not even that. So every time I name it, it's gone. Like it's like quantum mechanics, quantum physics. Like when you observe the wave, when you observe it, or the particles, which is this wave particle, get it? When you observe it, it changes. So when I say the unfathomable God, it's no longer the unfathomable God. So my thing that I'm saying is, yes, Jesus came out of that. Jesus was created, meaning manifested from that source.
Okay, so I'll obviously disagree just because you don't seem to have a verse that shows that he was created. But let me just read.
I don't have a source saying he was created, but I do have a source saying that Jesus was there in the beginning with the unfathomable God from the beginning.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that is the source.
But it
that
says that he was God. It says so in the beginning was the word was with God, the word was God. And then it goes on to describe all the things that he did as the word, creating everything, etc., etc. And then let me
Right.
just read Colossians to you and see what you think about this. Here, I'm sharing my screen right now. So it says, Colossians 1, verse 16, it says, for in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible. So material and immaterial.
No, where does it say
Physical.
material in it? And where does it say material and immaterial?
So it says invisible.
No, yeah, there's protons and subatomic particles that are invisible to
Yes.
you.
So basically, this is covering everything that's invisible to us.
Yeah, which is subatomic particles, material world.
But also spirits, also Elohim, like you're saying, because those things are
Where
invisible.
did okay? Show me where. Read the scripture
So let me
verbatim
finish.
and yeah.
So it says, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through him and for him. So whether thrones, powers, or rulers or authorities of any type, visible or invisible, things in heaven and on earth.
Yeah, the material world. We're talking about the universe. We're talking about things that we know in our existence. The Most High, which you agree. I mean, I'm trying to get you now. Not get you, but figure out where you're coming from. I mean,
yeah.
So you don't have. There's no power above Jesus in your eyes.
Hold on. So from this. No. I'm not saying there's no power above Jesus. Jesus is God. So it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? So
okay,
Jesus
so is
God.
Jesus the top, the most powerful power?
But no, so this is what I'm saying, right? Jesus is God, but he has a role in the Godhead, right? Which is he's the Son proceeding from the Father. You understand?
First off, you're getting ready to get blocked because you were already hating before. How am I getting cooked? I haven't even spoken, fool. Like I'm letting him talk.
Just ignore him.
I'm gonna show you how. You know what I'm saying? It's like these people are so hurt that Jesus is the serpent. Bro, I'm not even gonna take your comment down, but Easy Bands, you keep on saying the Father and just scooting past that. The Father is over the Son.
But Napah, this is the thing, right? The Father has always been the Father. Was there a time when the Father wasn't the Father?
If you're talking about, you're equating the Father to what I'm talking about as the unfathomable.
Just think about it.
Well, I want to get on the same page. You're equating the Father to the highest God that there could ever be, right?
No, I'm saying there's one God. There's one God. The Father is a person of the Godhead. There's one God. The Father is one of the persons of the Godhead, right? There's the Father, there's the Son. Yeah. So there's the Father, there's the Son, and there's the Holy Spirit.
So who's highest? Who's highest?
These are the three. So when it comes to the roles, when it comes to the roles that they play, the Father has preeminence over the Son, just by the roles. But in terms of the essence, they are equal.
But see how you don't focus on that though. This is the problem with it's like I'm diagnosing somebody. That's our problem right there. You don't focus on and acknowledge fully that there's a power over or higher or more powerful than Jesus.
No. So Napah, this is the thing, right? I'm not saying what you're saying is kind of like polytheism. Because you're making it seem as though these things are like separate beings, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's one being, one entity, which is God.
Okay.
And this God manifests through three persons: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's how he reveals himself to us in the scriptures.
Okay. Let me figure out this out. Let me figure this out real quick.
Yeah, that goes back.
You're saying that God has no power. You're saying that like what I said about there's all one body of the heavenly beings, but I know that there's an unfathomable God that's governing all of that. But with you say there's one, you call it a Godhead. So you're doing like a different facets of that one Godhead.
No. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You're trying to say like basically the Godhead can encompass all these Elohim and all these other messengers and, you know, the angels, etc., etc. That's what you're saying, right? What I'm saying is
There's
the
one
Godhead is
God,
on its
yeah.
own. So what I'm saying is the Godhead is on its own, right? It created all these powers and entities that you might label Elohim, etc. The Godhead itself created, like an Elohim, just for the audience, Elohim is like a title, right? So certain beings who are in a spiritual sense would be called Elohim. Am I wrong, Napah?
I mean, there's definitely, yeah, you could use
Yeah.
Elohim as judges. You could use Elohim as God, as what you're,
Yep.
that Godhead could be the
Yeah.
Elohim that you're talking
Yep.
about.
Yep. Even God himself is called an Elohim, right?
Yeah, well, yes. El,
Okay.
called El.
Okay. So my point is that
Not
the Godhead,
Elohim. God is called El, but then they say, oh, well, yeah, in the Bible, we're dealing with people manipulating scripture and things like that. But yeah.
yeah. So my point is
Listen,
that
let me get back to let's get back to you saying about creation of Christ or Jesus.
I was coming right to that. So
Okay.
the Godhead basically is, we have one God. We only have one God. Now that God has three persons, just like one human being, right? You're one human being, but you have one person, and then you're one person. Sorry, you have a rock, which is you know, it exists. It's a rock, right? Meaning it's a being in existence, but it doesn't have any person. You get what I'm saying? But with the Godhead, with the Trinity, with God, he's got three persons. That's the difference. Now, in John 1 verse 1, it shows us that in the beginning, the Word is described there. It says the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Several other places also say the same thing. But then we go to this verse that I have up, Colossians 1 verse 16, and it says, for in him, this is talking about Jesus, right? The Son. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether so everything that's visible or invisible, whether it's a throne, powers, or rulers or authorities, whatever type of authorities, all things have been created through him and for him. And so we see that clear as day that Jesus created all these things, including the serpent, which you see that the serpent is clearly says that the serpent was created by God. But
so your belief is that Jesus is God. Got it. Now, when you say, I'm going to get back to this thing about the rock, saying rock has no person. Since you want to go there, I'm going to go even more metaphysical. A rock could be anything. It could come from anything, and it could have this word person. That's why we need to get rid of it. So I'm just going to use it and show you that it can be, you know, it's going to get more confusing, but I'm going to do this. The person that you talk about, let's say the rock has formed from the decomposition of whatever living organisms were around. The person is still in essence there. You just don't see it as the person because you see it just as what you want to see it as, and that's the rock. And it is the rock, but it has more to it. It has more to it, and it does have the person. So this thing that you're talking about, we're not too far off. We agree, but I'm not just putting it into like there's only three of them: God, Holy Spirit, and the Father. And then Jesus is the one that's the God. I'm not doing it like that. I'm saying there's an entire heavenly body, which that's where you and I agree, but there's infinite number of existences in that body. I call it sometimes a universal mind of God. And then outside of it, because we always say, well, no, our God is inside. Like Senator says, it's in us. Well, for me, my belief, just like you shared yours, is that there is only one outside of it, one, and that is the unfathomable God that as I said, that I shouldn't name. And then when I do name it, it's now inside. It goes right back into the body with all the others. So
okay, so
Jesus has meant, I'm just giving you the full understanding. I can use scripture for it. Jesus manifested out of that unfathomable source. Jesus and all the others, everything manifests out of that source. So Jesus isn't the paramount. That's my belief, and I can show you in scripture.
Okay, so I would like for you to show me in scripture. But so you're talking about like the relationship between the Father and the Son, basically. Yeah, which I agreed to you that the Son takes on a you know, I don't want to use the term, but I'll just for people to understand, a lesser role in which he basically, you know, he creates everything, and then he comes into the creation, and he basically, you know, for the salvation of mankind, he gives himself up, he lowers himself, he's less than the servant, he's beaten up, he's humiliated, all these things, right? So he takes a lesser role, you know, that is very clear, but it still doesn't separate him from the Godhead. Let me just read to you the definition of person right quick in biblical theology. So a person is a distinct, self-aware, relational identity who can know, will, and relate within one being of God. So when you bring up the rock doesn't have self-awareness, it doesn't have relational identity, etc. It doesn't have a will and things like that.
Then we
So that
won't
would
call
be,
it a then we won't call it a being. Then we won't say it. We won't call it a being, because
so
if you want to call it a being, you say it can understand. Now we're talking about consciousness. That's a whole different conversation. Because I rocked with you on the whole thing about it being matter. But if you're talking about consciousness, then no, rocks aren't beings.
Can I chime in?
Okay, but
Yeah,
they
please.
do
I was
exist.
gonna say anybody else can come in here. You don't have to just have it.
Can I chime in?
That's
Yeah, for us not to get off track, you know,
I'm just looking at Google.
we coming back to the whole positive and negative duality. Serpent being negative in the first aspect, in Moses' aspect, it's been a positive thing. We coming out of the whole. I could even go as far as Napah, you and Shadah hold fast to this a lot, with the whole lower self and upper self, like, you know, Christ being like the morning star and Lucifer being the morning star. The book is really telling us about ourselves, you know. If you really want to know about yourself, really and truly, your higher self and your lower self. But coming out of the book and going into the whole, you know, like electricity, you have negative and positive. We have negative and positive wires, and then we have the ground wire, which is the third wire. In even the atomic theory, we have when scientists discovered the atom, it was the smallest thing, and then they discovered it had a nucleus with a proton and a neutron, which is like it's a trinity again if you really watch it. So it's like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I mean, you wouldn't watch it like that, but I'm just telling you, that's what they see it as, while we arguing about the literalism, which literalism is a reality too, if you understand and you follow in the story properly. Because even in the reasoning with Ashe a while ago, Ashe mentioned a lot of things about the languages coming from Yemen and Arabia, and, you know, in that area there, which I won't deny, because all these places is the same mass of land to me. It's just land and borders covering, whether it's the rivers or mountains or seas, right? That's what borders was before. And the oldest bones are still found in this same area where we are talking about all these languages and these things. If you know, you want to go like the Homo sapien bones and these things are still in these same areas. And we know, coming back to just even symbolism, the Bible, like we're saying, and even all the ancient stories, they were in pictography before, you know, scholars came and reduced them to what we have writing. Right now, you won't even find a picture in the Bible. So when the Bible says the SUN will have righteousness in its wings, or, you know, where is Malachi chapter 4, where it talks about the Son of Righteousness shall have righteousness in its wings. And if you have to draw that, you would see on the walls of, you know, pictures like that is like a sun disk with wings, just like some of the symbolism we're seeing. But because the book has no pictures and it came from pictography, nobody could argue that. Pictography was there before we had writings. The book right now is just writing. So even there's scriptures in Micah, I think chapter 4, verse 13, which speaks of the daughters of Zion, which is godly people they're speaking about, with hooves, horns of hooves, And even in Revelation speaks about the different beasts that was around God. You know, if you have to be drawing these things, you would see they look weird, but it's symbolism. When you understand the symbolism, it doesn't take away the literalism. But if you don't understand the symbolism, you will not see how it manifests in our literal lives. Because most people who believe in the Bible believe that the Bible is past, present, and future. So if the Bible is past, present, and future, you're supposed to even know yourself in the book. That's how far you're supposed to reach. If you really believe in prophecy and all these things, because you live in the time, you in the time, you in the revelation, like people been saying, oh, I could tell you what's really going on. And there are people that could really do that for you because it's just passed on knowledge. That's how I see these things, you know. I'll cut from there.
May I ask the brother a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody can just jump in at this point. I don't want anybody to feel like you have to, you know.
Yeah, I think the question can relate to Easy Benz. You as well, Napah, I believe, anyone who's a Trinitarian, and you mentioned a new word or new phrase. I'm getting an echo. I'm not sure why, and some music in the background. I think someone needs to. Okay. So my question is, have you heard of the phrase soft polytheism?
Soft, no, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was listening to a conversation which this phrase came up, soft polytheism. If you someone could pull it up and look at the definition, and I'll ask the question based on the definition of the word soft polytheism. And it's a question with regards to the Trinity.
All right,
So, Mr. Pai, if you don't mind, can you show a definition on the screen of soft polytheism?
All right.
If I could go after him, I just have a quick question for the platform.
So many gods in appearance, one underlying divine essence and reality. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there any? Is that all it says? Are there any? Does it say anything else?
So soft polytheism is a belief that many gods exist, but they are ultimately expressions, aspects, or manifestations of a single divine reality.
Okay.
That's kind of what I think Napah is saying. I think that's what she's saying. I don't want to put words in her mouth.
Well, yeah, and as it pertains to many gods, in your case, 3 gods. Is that definition a better category for Christianity than monotheism? Does Christianity fit closer to soft polytheism than it does to monotheism?
No, because that is modalism, basically. That means God, is expressing himself through these different gods and things like that. We don't believe that. We believe that God is one essence, one being.
Wait.
With 3 persons.
I missed everything. I fell off and I didn't hear anything. I'm sorry.
Let me just read it to you again then. I had it, the definition. Hold on. I think my screen is sharing if you want to share it. It's just he was asking about soft
is
polytheism.
Is it this one? Because I saw it. Oh, here.
Yeah, he was asking about soft polytheism. And so he asked us to look up a brief definition. It says soft polytheism is a belief that many gods exist, but they are ultimately expressions, aspects, or manifestations of a single divine reality. And what I said to him was like, this sounds a lot like what you were saying.
Yeah, but it's more like that's like a blend of monolatry and just
even modalism.
Yeah, it's like this is a new term. So I don't worship all these different gods though. See, so polytheism would entail worship, the worship or the venerating, I should say, like someone would do with Ifa and I know they say those aren't gods, but so for me, I acknowledge those gods, but not as different personalities. No, I mean it's so
brother,
hard to say because somebody might say.
Can I say something?
Hang on. If I could just restate the question for Napah to brother, and that brother Easy Bands was answering is.
Yeah, go ahead and then let's go for it.
Is Christianity closer to soft? Is Christianity closer to soft polytheism than it is to monotheism? Is the
I
question.
have to look at that definition one more time to answer that.
Okay. Well, the
If
other
I
brother
could
can
look at
ask
that.
for. I think Easy Bands was continuing to answer the question. So, and then the other brother can.
Yeah. Let's look at that.
Yeah. So, I just put into Chat GPT. I don't know if my screen is sharing.
Yeah, it is. I see monotheism definition.
So I say, what's the difference between soft polytheism and monotheism? The difference between soft polytheism and monotheism comes down to how many divine beings are recognized and the nature of their unity. Really? Definition. Hold on. How many beings? Let me read that again. The difference between soft polytheism and monotheism comes down to how many divine beings are recognized and the nature of their unity. Divine beings. Okay. Monotheism definition: belief in only one God, absolutely singular and indivisible. Examples: Islam, Judaism, Christianity. Key idea: there is only one divine being, period. No other gods' manifestations are fully God. Unity, complete and absolute. Soft polytheism definition: belief in many gods, but are manifestations, aspects, or expressions of one ultimate divine reality. Example:
okay.
Like Hinduism. So some interpretations of Hinduism, some philosophical systems in ancient religions. Key idea: there appear to be multiple gods, but ultimately they are unified at the source.
Yeah, that's what I am. That's me. But I'm
That's
not.
you,
The
right?
polytheism is the problem because that would also point to me worshiping all of these gods. When I definitely everything besides, I just don't feel comfortable with even though the word may not mean the worship of, but sometimes it is defined that way, and because of the connotations that it what it calls to mind when you think polytheistic, that would mean that I have several gods. I don't as an individual have several gods. I have only one God. But I acknowledge that there are, and this is monolatry, where you acknowledge there are all these different gods, but you worship just one God, right? So for me, I go a step further. I guess it would be this polytheism definition, which is I worship one God. I acknowledge there are all gods, and then they are all one in that one God that I worship. So,
So I don't know if you guys are still looking at the chart.
Yeah, we are.
Here's a chart right quick. So this helps us visualize what they're talking about. So you have a number of gods in monotheism is one. In soft polytheism, you have many. The distinctions, there's no distinction for monotheism. In soft polytheism, distinctions among gods exist, but subordinate to ultimate reality. Example
now,
of
add in there Easy Bands, please. I know you're still going to add in monolatry, monolatry. Add that in there.
Mono
because I didn't. This is monolatry. monolatry.
Yeah.
And have it compared in that chart. Possibly we can look at that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Can I say something now?
Yeah, go ahead,
brother.
brother.
Go ahead, brother. If it's not gonna take us too far off of this.
All right. What I just wanted to say is most of it, in the early stages when they were telling us that, which is in the 1800s, 1700s, that archaeologists and the anthropologists were doing all the research in Egypt. That's the terms they came up with to me, because when they met these netters and the interpretation that monotheism and animism, which is maybe worshipping of the natural things, maybe stones or whatever. So they came up with these terms and us. That's what we were doing. So now you'd see us arguing what's monotheism, and if you have to do, like, that's why it's good to go and do your own research and read. Because, for instance, Moses was classified as a god, even if he wasn't maybe the capital God, but in the book he was, he's the god of Aaron and Pharaoh at the time. So, you wouldn't say that's more than one god. Even the Trinity in Ethiopia, you could see like it's three male beings, right? So you won't say, and they're doing one work. To them, the Trinity is like three people doing one work. So I think we have lost the understanding. To me, we have lost the understanding of seeing many things in one aspect, like doing one work. Like that so our understanding has come down to just that. Like, if monotheism is like you worshiping like the one God, maybe that one nucleus, that universal intelligence or whatever that's out there. That's how we think of it. But the letters, like you say, and the EFA and all these things are different aspects of even us, like I was saying, of the Bible. Like, for instance, you would see Tehudi. Tehudi is like the scribe of writing, and that's like our scholars. And he's also the writer of even the heavens too, like astronomy. That's astronomy, those doing the astronomy. So it's, and what modern day disciplines that we have there right now. So we're not watching it like that, but that's what it really, really is. There's nothing like monotheism in this. We're confusing ourselves because we brought that to the world, to a certain extent. So it's us to understand that, it's three beings, or you could say multiple beings doing one work, showing you your character. And Napah, earlier on, we were speaking about the Kabbalah. I would say one of the easiest ways to see how the Kabbalah works is through your cartoons. They use it through our cartoons from early out, So it's a lot of symbolism and a lot of what they would call subtle information, and that's why we have so much. Like, from the whole Sesame Street, open sesame is like, it's like magical words. You would see the count counts from 1. He doesn't start from 0, which 0 is that same singularity. What we're saying is the 360-degree circle. So you see the count counting from 1, and just a lot of things. Even just the aspect of the good and bad, like we said, the devil, you being God and the devil. You'd see that on the cartoon shoulders. You'd see that little devil on the shoulder, and then you'd see a guy with maybe like an angel with some ring around his head. In the cartoons, we used to see all these things. So, even the aspect of Flintstones, when you watch Flintstones, is like people have modern day gadgets like maybe cell phones and these things, but they're not really hurting the planet. The name Flintstone is like a stone you could just light, like we have down here in the Caribbean, which is sulfur rock. That's what they call a Flintstone.
Right.
So it's deep symbolism.
Yeah. Thank you for your always adding your perspective, Black Mill. We appreciate you. I see that we're the only ones. Easy Bands. I wasn't even looking. John Doe's still here, and we have Black Mill. So I'm going to let Easy Bands go ahead and look at this chart, and then I'm going to go to our brother John Doe and start to wind down. But this is a good chart for all of us. I'm glad that, thank you, Sunchild, bringing up a soft polytheism. I didn't know about that. So go ahead, Easy Bands.
Yeah, I didn't know about the soft polytheism neither, but I had looked at Hinduism, because Hinduism, some people say that basically it's soft polytheism, basically, how there is one ultimate reality or one ultimate divine reality that manifests himself or itself in different gods, etc. So I'm actually a little bit familiar with that sentiment or theology, but there is a difference. But let me go ahead and read this right quick for the people. Okay, so for monotheism, you when it's talking about, hold on, I gotta move this a little bit higher. So okay, number of gods for monotheism is 1. In soft polytheism, you have many, but ultimately one source. In hard polytheism, many independent gods. In modalism, you have one God. In monolatry, you have many gods exist. Distinctions. In monotheism, you've got none. In soft polytheism, distinctions exist, but subordinate to ultimate reality. Okay? meaning that the gods have their own different characteristics and so on and so forth, but they're all subordinate to the ultimate reality. And then hard polytheism, real distinctions, fully separate beings. Okay, modalism, no real distinctions, just different modes. So just to describe that, what it's talking about is like there's one God that just comes on into creation and reveals itself in different modes. All right, as a different God here or a different God there, etc., etc. All right, monolatry. Let me just see right quick. I gotta scroll down a little
There's
bit.
the 72. There's the 72 names of the creator of the creator. In there's a zero aspect. We
Those
have
are
El
attributes.
Shaddai and all these names.
Those are
Yeah.
basically
So and then
attributes. Yeah.
we
We
also
have
we
one
just
more to
reasoning
read,
easy by
Black
we
Milk,
reasoning.
my friend.
Yeah.
He has one more
Go ahead.
category.
Yeah.
I guess
So
just
monolatry,
Go ahead.
monolatry, real distinctions, one chosen. Hold on, one chosen God worshipped. So I see where Napah was coming with that one. So the real distinct, they have these in monolatry. There's many gods. They have distinctions, but one chosen God is worshipped. Okay.
right. I'm kind of blended with the modalism and the monolatry.
Yeah, I can see
So
that.
yeah, but that's ultimate. I think monolatry and where you said we both you said modalism, I said monolatry, but that would be soft polytheism if you're going to get to the worship category. But I have to get off the bus with the worship of many gods. But anyway, keep going though.
Ding, yo, ring the bus, man. All right,
Yeah.
all right, cool. So all right, so go ahead,
So
Black Milk.
he's gonna finish reading the rest of the list if you can. Easy bands, the worship, and then the key, like the whole list, the whole chart.
Yeah, bet. So for worship,
Easy
monotheism,
worship, and then the key,
like
like the whole
worship.
list, the whole chart.
All right, bet. So for worship, monotheism, worship only one God. All right. In soft polytheism, you may worship multiple gods. In hard polytheism, worship may vary among gods. In modalism, worship of God in different roles. Okay. In monolatry, worship focuses on one God while acknowledging the others. So that seems a little bit, right?
Yeah, no,
No?
that's on point. No, what do you mean? Like,
Well, worshiping one God while acknowledging the others. That's
but that acknowledging doesn't mean you're worshiping them, though.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
like you can acknowledge that Satan's the god of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without worshiping.
Yeah. Okay. So key idea example in monotheism, absolute unity, e.g., whatever. These are the Judaism, Islam, traditional Christianity. In soft polytheism, many gods are aspects of one ultimate reality, e.g., certain interpretations of Hinduism. And I didn't know that about Hinduism, but it's
Right,
actually
with
more
the soft
interesting.
polytheism.
Yeah. When I found that out, I was scratching my head for a second.
Why? What
But
did you think it was? Hard
because
polytheism?
I thought it was hard polytheism, Hinduism, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Come to find out, it's similar to like modalism,
Yeah,
soft
it is.
polytheism.
Yeah.
All right,
They
so
give you
hard
the
poly-
option, I guess, right? You have the
What's that?
So we
option
don't classify.
within the religion. Within the religion, you have the option to do either.
To go. All right, so hard polytheism or soft polytheism, basically, that's what you're saying. Okay, so ancient Greek, Romans, Norse religions, that's hard polytheism. These are examples of people that practiced hard polytheism. The ancient Greek, the Romans, the Norse religions. I don't know why they didn't have ancient Egypt. What do you think ancient Egypt would fall under?
Because they didn't really worship like that. It would be more.
What we call
it would be more soft polytheism, where there's many God aspects. They don't even like to say God, but the netters. There's aspects of many netters, many gods, and they have that one God that is a head, though, right? Like what is it, Amun Ra or Amun?
Ra.
And then they have different. So I think that would be Kemet is more soft polytheism from my perspective. I might be wrong.
So yeah, it's probably like Hinduism, like where it could be soft or hard, right? But I think
exactly.
brother Black, I think the brother Black Belt wanted to say something. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I would say let's take the Bible for instance. The story we're getting in the Bible, the narrative in the Bible is that Christ, the returning Christ or Messiah, if you believe in that as a Christian, right? That he's supposed to be coming through the lineage of David, what people would say, the root, stem, and branch of David, right? And then we have what we call the tribes. And then, you could see in Revelation, when you go and read Revelation, it speaks of he coming from the tribe of Judah. And, if you read in some of even couple days ago, I think there was a reasoning with some of the other books, like the Apocryphas and these books. When you go and read these books, you would see they would have a Messiah coming through, even the lineage of Levi also as a priest. So there's a kingly kind of thing, which is the Lion of Judah being a king of kings, and there's also the Levi, if you go and read the Apocrypha and these things, not really in our normal King James or these things, right?
Well, Black Mill, let me just tell you, I'm on that track right now with my whole, I'm bringing out some more stuff, Easy Bands. You think this Jesus is a serpent.
Can't wait.
I'm bringing out Moses. Moses is Kemetic. So go ahead, Black Mill. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, Moses is an Egyptian. Moses is an Egyptian. But the story is what's really happening right now with us, most people that take the Bible, and the whole aspect of the anthropology, and because these are also sciences, but they prove history. So history still has science in it, because most times if they don't come up with these findings and things, maybe most people that follow in science wouldn't agree with it, So what I would say is Moses is one of the characters that maybe some people would say is a fictitious character still, which, maybe he's not a literal person, right? And then there are also, not to take away the whole story, there's also, because even what we're speaking of, reason why I gave you of the lineage of David, and it's coming down to the New Testament, and we're supposed to understand which lineage Christ is coming from, which, some people would even argue that the tribe of Judah, it was Joseph, which is the stepfather, was from the lineage of Judah, and Mary was from Levi. If you understand the whole narrative. So Christ,
you're talking about the Christ genealogy, the genealogy of Christ. You're talking about.
That's why Christ is like a carpenter. He's not a mason. You know about the masons.
What's the significance of that? I mean, we're sidetracking a little bit, but I just want to hear.
I know we haven't even finished our chart, Black Mill. You're giving us too much on our plate. We can't eat it all right now. Right. I know you guys have little children. When you have to give the kids, don't put too much, because they're just, oh wow, playing. Okay, they're gonna waste it. They're not gonna take it for, they're not gonna value it. So hold that thought. I'm gonna get back to let Easy Bands do his chart, and then we're gonna let John Doe come in, and we'll all and Sunchild, I see you. We'll let Sunchild in, in that order, and then try to close out. Go ahead, finish, please. Thank you, Easy Bands.
All right. So modalism, God appears as Father, Son, Holy Spirit. God appears as Father, Son, Holy Spirit. It's a Christian heresy. So out of all these, I'd say modalism is the closest one to monotheism. But in terms of, just the way it looks, but, once again,
I don't know about that one. I think monolatry and modalism are in the, because they actually align with monotheism. No, well, let me not. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, because in modalism, look at how many gods. You see it?
Oh, I got you. Yeah, there's one god. Okay,
there's one god. All right, so
that splits off at the end. So they're cheating.
There's
one, but you're really getting three.
They're saying there's one, but he shows up as the Father sometimes. Sometimes he shows up as the Son. Sometimes he shows up as the Holy Spirit. Whereas monotheism is they're all God, basically. So monolatry, some ancient Israelite religion before full monotheism. Oh, really? Okay. Before full monotheism.
Like when they were.
I don't. Hey man.
Before they start getting their hands and their heads. No, this is what happens, Steve. Before they were forced to not see the truth. And they were scared of their mortal existence being, it's being challenged. Like when she was like, the serpent lied. because he was like, "Who told you to eat from this?" And so she was scared. So that's how it moved into monotheism.
So look, so this is what they're saying. I wouldn't agree with it, but this is what they're saying. Some ancient Israelite religion before full monotheism, it acknowledges other gods exist, but only Yahweh is worshipped. So
Oh yeah,
I
that's
mean,
me.
yeah. So okay, but you know, when I look at the history of the Israelite religion, I don't see that. You know, especially when you study the Bible. But then these might be, I don't know, they might be coming up with this explanation from, scholars, opinions.
Well, no, in the Bible it says don't worship Baal. That's the acknowledgement that they exist.
Oh, so okay, I see. So hold on. Some ancient Israelite religion. So basically it's saying that some people worshiped idols, etc., right? Within
it doesn't even say worship though, Easy Pants. It says just knowing they exist. See, acknowledging other gods exist.
Okay.
Because think of this, listen. When they went to destroy the Canaanites, they said, "Go destroy them because they're worshiping that horrible god Baal." So that's the acknowledgement that Baal is existing.
Oh, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. Yeah. I can't. So many gods exist. Real distinct. So only one chosen God is worshipped.
That's why in the Torah it says don't worship those other gods. That says they exist. It says don't worship them, but because it says that they exist.
But this is my thing, right? Is that the Bible basically tells you that these gods exist, etc., right? And so even a Christian or even a monotheist would acknowledge that these lesser gods exist or existed.
Well, some of them don't. Some of them say no; those gods aren't even real. They're not, because they say they're not God. Like, for instance, perfect example, Islam. They don't acknowledge that they're gods. They say they're jinn or wicked spirit. They don't say that they are gods at all.
Yeah, of course. When I say gods, I'm talking about like lesser gods, right? Lesser than
right. I know. Yeah. You like me? You don't want to get a soundbite clipped up on you. I got you.
I want to be clipped up.
Sonetter's lurking in the shadows, ready to clip it up.
Next thing you know, Sonetter's got a diss track and all that.
Easy. I also wanted to say, even in the Islam, which sounds even more monotheistic than most of the other religions, if you want to put it like that. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
They still have that 99 attributes of Allah. If you're really studying the whole,
that's why it's so confusing.
So hear what I'm saying, Napah. I just wanted to go back on my point, because most times when I'm speaking, when I come back on the panel, it's just to add to what I was saying, so people could understand me properly, and it's not looking like I'm just everywhere, right?
After you speak, I do want to get to John and then Sunchild. So go ahead, Black Child.
Yeah.
I mean, Black Bill.
In the Kemetic aspect, we have Ra, right? And you would find Amun Ra or Atum Ra. All of them are different attributes of Ra, which is that one God. If you understand, it's like it's the same story of the Bible. If you have to take it like that, Christ, you mentioned all these prophets passed through, they call them gods and all kind of things. Like even our aspect of Enoch was the first to never taste death. If you want to watch, that's the narrative of the story. So he also Adam and also a Christ, if you want to watch it like that. And like I said, Enoch's age was 365 years, which is the cycle of the sun. Nobody could deny that, So what I was saying is, most of what we see is attributes of that one God, or that one essence, or that one nucleus, like I would say in the scientific world. And then it has that proton and neutron, and it builds us as physical beings and all these things, if you want to put it like that. But that's just what it is. Our ancestors use these allegories and storytelling to prove science, the natural world, and all these things. So if you cannot read through, the poetic writings, it's difficult for you to understand the stories. That's why a lot of people are, confused about some of the stories. But it's all saying the same thing when you see the common thread for all the cultures. Imagine one last thing I would just say. the continuation of kings in that area, which is that the Arabia, Ethiopia, Kemet, the place they call Israel today, and all these places. That's the ancient land. If you read in the book, the first place they gave Abraham, the brother we have now, which is Abraham, is from the river Euphrates to the river Nile. That's the promised land. That was like the boundaries of the land they give him in the book. The first thing, and then it went on to Moses, and then Moses passed it on to Joshua. When Joshua got the land expanded. So when the land expanded, if you do, like they say, if you know your Bible and you don't understand the geography and you don't understand the astronomy and these different sciences, it will be a little confusing. But what I was saying, that same area there is where all Abraham, Moses, all of them came from, which is the same promised land that God gave Abraham, which passed on to Joshua, right? What I would say, they also have, I give you one God having different attributes to it, which is not polytheism. It's just the singularity passing on that godly attribute to different characters.
We got the list here, so let's not just kick it to the dirt. We got to use the new words we use here. You come on now, come on, Blackmail. Get one of these. Pick one of these. I'm listening to you. I want you to park your car soon, but could you come in and actually do a lesson? Because you have a lot of information. I really love listening to you. I just feel bad having them. I would like you to put your information or get my email that I'm going to drop right now. Do you think you could come on and do a lesson?
Yeah, I could try.
I'm
not that savvy on the computer, but I could try something. Yeah.
You're up here right now. I mean, y'all be getting scared, right? Easy Bands finally is one of us. He's not afraid anymore. He's in here. He's debating. Brother, you got to break through the ceiling here, Blackmail. You are one. You are up here spitting so many jewels, and then I say, "Come in." It's like, what is this song, Neo? That Neo Love has? He said, "Choke." I don't know. You better get in here and teach. You are really interesting. It's just I hate having everybody like wait, but I love listening to you. So here's my email. What do you mean you're not savvy? You're up here like a pro right now. Okay, so here's my email address, Blackmail. And you've been coming up here for a minute. So just get in touch with me and we can arrange for you just to come in and you could just flow if you want. I'll just let you be up here just teaching, okay? So
shout out to Blackmail, man.
Yeah, Blackmail, you were really, I love to listen to you. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere. I know I stopped your flow, but I know John Doe. I don't want John Doe and Sunchild to say, I got some spaghetti on the stove. I got to go let the dog out. I just want them to, John Doe, go ahead and get your final thoughts out, and I'll go to Sunchild, and then we'll go down the panel, and I'll let Blackmail close out so he can have free run at the end. So go ahead, John Doe.
I just want to say one thing right quick. I don't know what it is, man, but I rocks with the Rastas, man. A lot of times, man, they got positive energy. Word up.
I like him too.
I rock.
Yeah, and we got our brother Revelation in the chat too. Look, first I wasn't gonna say anything, Easy Bands. I wasn't, but I got to because you said something about Rastas. I gotta put you on the big screen with all this beautiful hair. Don't let me see you most of the time up here in that head thing, okay? That's all I wanted to say. I wasn't gonna put you on the spot. You have great hair. Oh my gosh.
Respect.
Okay, salute. Okay, so now we will go to John. John, thank you for waiting, and give us your final take on everything, and then we got our brother in here too. I can't forget Zion. All right, got you. Okay, go ahead, John.
My beautiful lesson, beautiful conversation. I appreciate it. Shout out to Rastafari. I don't know that.
Word up.
Man, shout out to Easy Bands. But my Mr. Napah, shout out to you too. Shout out to the Queen.
Yes.
But
my brother.
I have a question or two or three for you, Napah, right quick, because I know you're gonna knock these out of the park. So the infinable God. Excuse me, my pronouncer. Infinable God.
The unfathomable. Yeah, it's pretty tongue. It's a tongue
Unfathomable.
twister.
Yeah, unfathomable.
You
God.
say
The
and then you say fathom, and then you say able.
unfathomable.
Unfathomable.
Unfathomable God.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So the
Hmm.
unfathomable.
You
Anyway,
had it, but
so that
got it.
right.
All right, try
Yes.
So okay,
unfathomable, brother. You can say
that's why I say
The
unfathomable.
UFG. The UFG. Let's just call it the
Hey,
UFG. Anyway.
you know how we speak on the island, but we say unfathomable. You know what I mean? We don't pronounce the whole thing,
What
but
about yes? So
you know. But
what would you like to
my
ask?
question, yeah, okay. So I just would like to know for the unfathomable God, uh, one, who is the unfathomable God, and how much power does he possess? Right. That's my
And
one question.
that's
Go ahead.
like in the scripture when you hear it says just is. You understand? Like when Moses asked that question, and even to say that is not giving credit or not describing. So that is the answer. Like the
Just
unfathomable
is.
God is, and in that the power is beyond infinite power. And you see, so yeah, it's just outside of our understanding. Outside of
There's
our
no
understanding.
Yeah,
word and
unfathomable.
vocabulary for it. You know, we
Yeah.
don't have the
Yeah.
words to describe it, basically. But go ahead.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
And let me say this too, by the way, when you look in the Bible, though, not to sound like a hypocrite, but see, it's like when I read things about Yahweh attributes in the Bible, I go, okay, this is where they're talking about the unfathomable God that I understand and that I in my understanding. They're in the Bible, you can read, okay, I'm not gonna get the name, people are hung up on the name. That's why Lex was like, she worships the Yahweh. But in the Bible, you will read things like where it says in Isaiah, I make the dark, that's the
Right.
unfathomable God. Being
Right.
just, but because we have to try to explain and describe, again, I'm going in the circle, it becomes less than the unfathomable God, but we have to try to grasp it. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. It does.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
great.
That makes sense. You can't explain the unexplainable. I got it.
Exactly,
We just
Evan.
try our
You
best.
can't comprehend it.
You're right.
So is that your question? Oh, two. Okay.
So two. I have two.
I'm not trying to hog the
So
mic after I just
that's
snatched
fine.
it from Black Male.
I know, Miss Pa. I just want you to knock these out the park for me right quick. Home runs.
Okay, got it.
That was good. Okay, so I'm gonna go down to the demiurge. So the unfindable God, that's God. But then, so God has demiurges. I learned that tonight. I didn't know that because I always associated, like Ashay said, demiurges always was associated as evil deities. You know, or like a double ganger, like someone your evil self or something like that. So, I learned that tonight. So the angel Gabriel or Jibril will be considered a demiurge, right? For God.
What?
And then Lucifer will be considered a demiurge for the bad side.
That would be closer, but see, then you get into like that slippery slope of not really speaking on traditional classic, like true Gnosticism. When we use that term or that title, the demiurge, and Ashay said something great. I forget. He said something about, it's more than just, that's an evil thing. But for us, of course, because for instance, in the Bible, when you see God, Yahweh say, it says he's a jealous God. With Sonetter, shout out to Sonetter, he loves that one.
We love that.
It's not just about something evil, like something that is. No, I can't. I'm getting tired. I can't go into it because I'm going to be honest. Gnosticism is not my thing. I know I've read some of the Gnostic writings, but Ashay and of course Lex Vortex they would be able to tell you more. Because so when you use demiurge,
I'm gonna have to haul out of them.
man,
Yeah.
I can't really get into that too much because it makes me think that you want me. Well, I have to lean towards explaining God in the concept of being Yaldabaoth, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, I got it, Mom. I got it. Just one more quick, and that's it. I'm done. So who is the unfathomable God for evil?
There is the unfathomable God doesn't have again.
I'm sorry. I guess
so
I'm
crazy.
Gnostic now.
When I explain this, I'm putting this box around something that I can never understand. But from the concept of not being able to understand it, there are no human attributes to the unfathomable God at all. The unfathomable God isn't anthropomorphized. So yeah, that's the answer to that.
So you wanted so here's the definition of demiurge according to Gnosticism. It says in many Gnostic systems, the demiurge is often considered ignorant or even malevolent, the creator of the material world, which is imperfect, distinct from the true supreme God, who is purely spiritual. Example, Yaldabaoth in some Gnostic texts.
Yes, thank you for that.
Or like y'all mentioned Baal, when the Canaanites was worshiping Baal, right?
So the Canaanites, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead, Napah.
So, no, you're good. I'm glad you brought this up. So see how he brought up the actual definition that fits in a Gnostic system. See how it says Gnostic system? So when we use you wouldn't call Canaan the Canaanite god necessarily the demiurge. The demiurge is like a title within the Gnostic system, and that's not going away from what Ashay said. I get what what his concept was. He's saying, I'd like to hear more from him, but he's saying there's more outside of it besides just this evil God that he doesn't want. For me, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say he doesn't want it to be equated to or correlated to the evil God of the Bible. But there really isn't. If you look at the Bible, we're gonna go all back around to the beginning. Satan, there's not this one evil God that we can say, then there's this evil God in the Bible. Even though we did talk about the Elohim, I know Easy Bands doesn't agree with that fully, or maybe he does. So with the demiurge, that's only in Gnosticism. So I would tell you to refrain from, just to save yourself and anyone you're talking to from confusion. You wouldn't say Baal is a demiurge. I mean, does it match? Does it match? Sure. But then that's when you could go and say Yahweh is a demiurge. Get what I'm saying? So
you know what I'm saying? You're right.
Because there's attributes in the Bible where it shows that Yahweh is jealous, killing, considered malevolent. Well, you have two of these, Rebel Rasta.
Rebel Rasta. Salute, brother.
What are you doing, bro? He's got different angles now.
Rastafari.
Yo, Napah.
Okay, so
Rasta.
Yes.
Let me just say one thing. Sorry, off topic, but Rasta music, is one of the things. Rasta music or reggae is one of the things that brought me real close to God. I ain't gonna hold you. They got some of the best gospel music. If you've ever heard,
I agree.
Sizzla, if you've ever heard like Sizzla or one of those type Capleton or one of them, yo, bro, trust me. Word. And
they have a lot of old.
Yep. They'll have you like.
I didn't find that out until I went. And I found that out recently when I went on tour with Killer Priest of the Wu-Tang, and I met a couple of Rastas in Canada actually. And there's so much gospel music. Oh my gosh, they have so much good and it goes back to the 50s. It was beautiful. So I absolutely 100% agree with you on that.
And Killer Priest is a legend too, man. Holy smokes, that guy's a poet, man. Like, have you heard?
Oh yeah,
you guys, have you heard this guy's music, bro? Like, he's got this YouTube channel where he puts out music and he's talking about all these like gods and things like it's crazy, man. Y'all got to tune in.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Easy Bands is right. Priest does have the Killer Priest Podcraft, and he's over there letting Sanchez sit on the panel, and he's acting like he's brand new, not even mention me.
Yeah, I see
I
him.
was hot when I saw that. I said, I know I went live. But anyway, it's all good. Yes, Priest is his I used to tell Priest his music is his writing is like he grabs a vein out of the universal mind of God and taps into it and just starts pulling lyrics out. So yeah, he's a real wordsmith. He's good.
Definitely like when you're an artist, right? Sometimes like you're just a vessel almost, and it's like things are coming from outside, right? And you write something down and you're like, yo, how did I even think about that? Like
Killer Priest,
I
do that all the time. Yep.
And
Killer Priest, go ahead,
man. Like his stuff is crazy. Y'all got to tune in, man. Word.
Yeah, and see, Priest, see how I just gave you flowers? Sit on that panel, let him just talk. No, but I did. That's my song. The song you heard, I wrote part of he did the rap, and then I wrote the other side of the song. The one I'll end it. That's me and Killer Priest at the end. It's called Stay. It's called actually You Are With Me, but it's called Stay With Me. But I'm about to find I'm gonna play it at the end, but just letting you know, when I played at the end, I wrote my own part and he wrote his. Nobody wrote it for me. So y'all, I heard somebody ask me that one. Well, somebody asked me and I was like, what? I'm my own writer. Thank you. That's my own original. But shout out to the Wu-Tang, shout out to Killer Priest, and shout out to Killer Priest Podcraft. Priest, next time you go live, give me my flowers. Because you know how many times we talked about Jesus as a serpent in the garden when I was around Priest? Because I used to be over there hosting too. I don't know if you know that. But
no.
Priest is like sitting on that panel talking about, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, what the hell?
Like, yo, bro, I just brought this up a million times, man. Yeah.
Yes, we talked about it. He was like, but Priest, it's all love. I mean, it's nothing, no hard feelings. And it's all love with Sanchez too, because Sanchez has his own. I'm gonna take this down right now. He has his own way of teaching it, and I love listening to it. It's just I hate listening to it and be like, wait a minute. Like you said, Easy Bands. I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. I remember when I was just. That's you see that on those movies too, when they're like, hey, I think we should maybe use the red one, and they say, nah, let's talk to the head to the head guy. What do you think we should do? We should use the red one. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's do that.
You get
that. So, anyways, let me move on so we can get this closed out. And I appreciate everybody being here. Let's see we did John Boy, and we got to go to our brother Sunchild. He's been waiting.
I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all.
Always.
I'd like to address the brother who just asked about the demiurge. Perhaps I could add a little clarity from my perspective anyway. The demiurge wouldn't fit as a Gabriel or even Satan. The demiurge is actually the creator. He created the material world. So he is a deity, in fact, and the creator of the material world. But the unfathomable is the spirit world without the material, the need for creating a material world. And the demiurge pretty much has the characteristics of a materialistic characteristics of anger, jealousy, and so on. But he is the creator deity. That's what I wanted to add to that. I hope
you just threw me for a loop just now.
We're gonna let Sunchild finish out, and then we're gonna get to
address the brother Black Mill. I really appreciated your perspective as well. I'd like to try to summarize, because you said a lot, and if I could attempt to, if you're still here. What I hear you saying is that you consider the different religious or spiritual schools of thought as sort of like constellations that are orbiting your central figure, which is a solar reverence. And you see these schools of thought as just orbits or constellations orbiting the sun. And I would wonder, is that a fair although perhaps a little bit poetic, a definition or analysis of what you believe?
Yes, to a certain extent. I didn't even go so far, but that's to show you how inclined mind could read between the lines. For instance, if you watch our Islam brothers, they're dancing around the Kaaba, which is a black stone, all right? The Kabbalah, they're dancing around a black Kaaba, right? Kabbalah. And the sun, like I was talking about, the sun is that main object. All the planets are doing the same orbiting. If you check the Rastafari, what we call the Nyabingi, you'd see them, they have what they call an altar, and they all just, it's like a ritual around the sun, dancing around the sun. So whilst we might watch that like just, repetitive, just, maybe religious aspects, I see these things as things that's supposed to happen. These people are in motion. All the African dances, all the ancient African dances, to even now, are different movement in the heavens, because they understood astronomy and how the stars used to move and everything. So they're literally they're so above, so below, so in heaven, so on earth. I know it's hard to believe, but trust me, nothing that we're seeing, the outlook most of us have, we're the ones who brought these things. We cannot be watching them. If you're watching it like, this is wrong and this is, you're going to go off. If you're a scientific mind, there's no wrong and right to a certain extent, although there's wrong and right, don't get me wrong. But I just gave it to you. In the whole electricity, you have your negative and positive. If you these wires the wrong place, like you maybe put two negatives together, you might just blow your building. If you put the two positives to, you just the whole aspect of just electricity, you could see the two aspects of just science to a certain extent. Coming back to your hot and cold and all these aspects, it's just the same thing, colors and all these things. And I would give that last little aspect, brother, because I may be going off of what you really asked me. Just to not go off topic, because it's all the same thing I'm saying. In your cartoons again, you have not just your cartoons, your heroes, your superheroes. In your superheroes, you have Batman. Batman is the only superhero that has no supernatural powers. He's just his belt, right? And then we have Hulk. Hulk is the perfect. Batman is your intelligent self, because Batman is intelligence and all this technology and all these things, gadgets and these different things, right? And then you have Hulk. When Hulk really gets vexed, he turns to a different human being. He turns to Hulk, which is that Bruce Banner. When Bruce Banner gets vexed, you see start bursting up that shit, and that's the aspect of your old self. Then you start mashing up cars and start knocking out your woman and start doing all the things you're not supposed to do and then regret after. That's you not controlling your lower self. Because it's discipline. You as a human being, the more you learn, the more you grow. You're supposed to be a mature human being where the whole aspect of the whole morals and all these things coming up to stand up as a man really, and responsibility and all these things. So I hope I didn't go off track. Yeah.
No, you didn't. And if I could just ask you one final question, you say it's not polytheism, and I think you're less reluctant on accepting a soft polytheism where there's a oneness and then emanations and so on of attributes of the one. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with the label? I don't want to put it on you, but the label soft polytheism, is that something you're comfortable with?
You could call me any name you want. You could call me polytheist. You could call me monotheist. All these names. These names don't matter to me. This is what Europeans put on what our ancestors were doing. So I understand what it really. Because I'll give you a next little aspect. What they call fort, which is Tuhuri, the beak of the bird, and that aspect. You would see they have, just like Amun-Ra and Atum-Ra, you would see they have aspects of Fort Moses. Different Fort Moses, like his attributes of Tuhuri. And it was real, literal human beings, And even just the story of Moses, I'll give you a thing. Stick to the symbolism to it. It's literal, but stick to the symbolism. Moses, the word Moses in the Hebrew is to be drawn out of water. right? We have that whole aspect from the starting of the Bible, Abraham going to that well, meeting the wives, the different wives, and then, throughout the whole Bible, even in the ancient aspects, you would see the whole aspect of water, and then it even representing woman, like the female aspect of things in the Bible to a certain extent, right? But Moses being drawn out of water, Moses, which is osmosis, which is the same being drawn out of water. If you type of osmosis in science, osmosis is real, like red blood cells in your body shifting from one place to the next. I know it might sound off.
Hold on, brother. Now you blending the science. We got the pseudo killers gonna pop up on us. You walking that thin line right there. Osmosis is
what I would say, Napah, the way the Greeks
but I rock with you on that. But I'm just saying.
The way the Greeks, because remember, Moses part the Red Sea. I mean, if you're somebody that understands symbolism, you'd never take that literal. I know people say God does a lot of things, I wouldn't doubt God could do anything. But the parting of the Red Sea, that's all the same stories. You have to deal with water. Noah was is a body of water. When the place flooded, it was a body of water that saved Noah. So it's like a saving aspect going through that water, which really represents you to a certain extent. I'll give it to you on one aspect. All of us have to go through that, the womb of the woman, which is blood. And
that's why you gotta come in and teach. You gotta come in and teach here. I hate to cut your flow, but the brother is. Listen, did you get my email? You did, right? You're welcome, John Doe.
Blackmail.
Go ahead.
So much info. He's got so much info. He just wants to drop it all right now, type thing.
I know, and it's good.
Yeah.
If I could.
Yes, please, Sunchild, and then we're gonna go ahead and I think we went around for everybody. We're gonna end with you know what, Black Miller, I told you you're gonna have free ending, but I didn't get to have Easy Bands close out. Sunchild, ask him your question because the brother was asking you questions. Ask him your next question or say what you need to say, and I'm gonna let Easy Bands have his final word. Yeah. Then I will go to you, Black Mill, and let you close out. Be mindful that I got to get up early in the morning. No, just kidding. You're good. You're good. I like to listen to you. But anyway, go ahead, Sunchild. What you want to ask?
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry.
Oh, Rebel Rob. Oh my God, my brother, Rebel Rob. See, I'm not looking. You know what? Yeah. Rebel Rob. Thank you, Easy Bands. Okay, go ahead. We got what we have up here is a whole Rasta lineup, and then we also got Easy Bands with his luxurious Samson locks.
Word.
You've been hiding your hair from us. Watch Sonetter say, "Why are you telling him his hair looks good?"
Hey man, don't get me in trouble with stuff.
No, you're my brother. That's why I'm saying it. But anyway, okay, go ahead, Sunchild, and then we get to Rebel Raw, and then we'll do our close up. Go ahead, Sunchild. What were you going to ask? Your last thing you want to say?
Thank you, Napah. I'll try to be as brief as possible. Brother Easy Bands, I understand your reluctance towards the idea of soft polytheism. I certainly understand but I'm still having an issue. I think from my perspective, it is closer to the Trinity, the concept of a Trinity than monotheism. I still see it closer to what I would consider soft polytheism. In so much as you have a distinction between the gods and then a unifying factor. For me, that is by definition soft polytheism, and I understand that you would project it on the other schools of thought, such as Hinduism and so on, and not at yourself, but perhaps a little more I don't want to be rude, but a little more self-reflection, perhaps. But I guess we can continue that conversation because I found it out, by the way, listening to a Muslim brother debating a Christian, and he brought it up, the idea of soft polytheism towards the Christian. But yeah, that's all I have for now. If you wanted to respond, you may. I'm not sure if I asked the question anyway, but I surely appreciate the time, Sister Napah, and the brothers, all the attention. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yes, Sunchild, it's always a pleasure. Go ahead, Easy Banter. This will be your closeout too, so we can just get around. Go ahead.
Yeah, my closeout wasn't even, I was just gonna let y'all rock anyways. To the brother, it's a very interesting because even when I like looked into Hinduism under this new this soft polytheism or whatever, and I saw that, it was kind of, it had me scratching my head, right? But there is a difference, and we'll go into that a little bit more next time. But hey, it was a pleasure talking to you, man. You know, hopefully we can see you on the panels more often. All right.
Thank you,
just to
brother.
close out,
Appreciate it.
no doubt. Just to close out, Napah, keep doing your thing, and we want to see you on Killer Priest, all right?
Oh no, that was a couple episodes, a couple seasons ago.
So
I'm not.
You're
You
beefing
can
or
go
what?
look me up. You can go see. No, I'm not beefing with Priest. No,
No, I'm saying I want you back on there.
Oh no, it's, you trying to do. You are trying to get me. How do you say? In a hemmed up by the collar for anyway. No. I'm HOK. I'm over here, and it's not that I won't go over there, but it's just you're new. You're getting in here on season 6. You need to go look back. Like you need to go back to season 1.
So hold on. Is there like an issue with like the HOK and that channel or
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Sonetter, you saw Priest and Sonetter, we're all cool. It's just everybody who knows. I'm here and I love the Killer Priest podcraft. Sonetter loves it, but I already did that. Like, I'm HOK. Like I was over there hosting. Everybody's heart was broken. Everybody over here was heartbroken and missing me. You can't do that to the people. They want me to stay.
I'm not saying go over there, like leave us and then go over there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying go over there, get your roses, get your flowers from them. If they don't want to give you your flowers, take that ish. You feel me?
Oh no, I got it. No, Priest. I did tours with him. I was over there hosting. And it's just a season for me, and now I'm here. I'm back, so I have nothing's wrong with it. I just, you know what you can do. You can definitely. I'm being serious. You can go in and look at Zion.
Somebody said leave it alone.
I know Zion. He knoweth not what he says. He knoweth not what he does. No,
cool.
it's okay. No, I'm just joking around. I was just over there for a minute, and now I'm back. So put it that way. It's all good, and it's nothing against Killer Priest. We're cool. He's cool. Everything's great. But everybody knows that. It's just I was over there. People were missing me in the HOK. You trying to get rid of me, Easy Bands? Is that what it really is about?
Hey, man. No. If anything, I'm trying to get you to go over there and cause a fire and make them come over here. You feel me? For the smoke.
Oh, they are. A lot of people are here. A lot of the brothers and sisters go back and forth. We're a small community, and I'm glad you brought that up because we are a community, even though we're online, right? And that is why I was like, oh, heck no. We know who teaches what. We know who brought out what doctrine, who's been doing all the research and stuff. So that's why I was like feeling some type of way about the thing with the Jesus is a serpent in the garden. And shout out to Sonetter for even doing that, like just going on the channel and do it. Yeah. So everybody knows everybody here. It's like less than 6 degrees of separation. But definitely go check out my builds that I did over there. And you know what? You're telling me to go over there. You need to spread your wings and go over there too. Sonetter's going to kick me in my butt saying, you sending my people. You know how Sonetter loves he's like, I want all my people here. Nah,
cool. The one time he caught me on Garfield's channel, he was like, "Oh, you over there by Garfield, eh? I seen you, bro." I said, "All right, cool, man. I'm not doing it."
And because this is the epitome of debates in the Black consciousness community. This is, if you looked it up, you would see what's the best place to do your information. It's the HOK. He put talking about people not getting their flowers. He put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. And that I'm not saying don't go over to Killer Priest or other channels, but why would you want to? This is what I said to A1, the brother in the chat. He's like, you need to come over here. And the I said, why would I go from the Broadway stage in New York to stand in the middle of Central Park pop locking with the hat in front of me and a sign saying, please donate. So that with that said, and all love to A1, it's no diss, but this is where you want to be in. Sonetter, you're part of the HOK. This is the toughest environment. It's all love. Gosh, damn, I'm over here sweating over here. Somebody save me. Somebody take the mic. Where are we going? Okay, peace, Easy Bands.
Peace, people.
You trying to get me back. You trying to get me back for saying your do-rag is a bonnet. I know that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You got me.
Hey,
no, you did it.
You started the whole thing. You got them calling me names and all types of stuff, man.
You know, I didn't like that. For the record, I felt bad because when I said bonnet, I really wasn't trying to for me, I don't want to say do-rag. Nobody's like, a bonnet for me is cute. I did a show. I used to do a talk show called the Sister Sit Down. And we all put on bonnets I have that show on my channel. We all put on bonnets for our show. Because I don't think people should beat up on people for wearing bonnets or do-rags. But if I'm taking a picture and I had a head full of hair like yours, I wouldn't want to have my do-rag on or my bonnet. So when I said, don't take it on your bonnet, I saw them in the chat like they were saying bonnet.
Oh, they
bonnet
went off, man.
They went off. That's how it is. You have tough skin, though. You have tough skin. So,
Word.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for bringing me up, Napah. Thanks.
Yeah, brother. It's always a pleasure. I'm looking for it. Look, before he leaves or when he leaves, I just want to show y'all his debate is coming up.
It's going down.
And I'm so glad that you did not. Where is that? Let me get it. Here it is, right here. Oh, that's not it. There's so many. I'm glad. Here it is. I found it. We got Sekou going up against our brother Easy Bands in the flesh. Both of them will be on the panel, on the Zoom. It's a paid donation debate. The link, I'm sure the link is in the chat for you to get the tickets. You guys don't wait till you're what? Go ahead.
No, I was just ad-libbing. Get them tickets.
Heck yeah, get those tickets because Sonetter hiked up the our brother Morpheus and Apostle. It says 20, but now it's 25. So don't wait till the last week. These are going to be awesome. We got another brother that Sonetter really has taken under his wing. We got our brother God Energy and against Chief X. Yeah, so no, you're not going anywhere. Sonetter has his favorites that he's a talent. One thing about Sonetter, he is really good at looking at who's talented, but he always keeps his door open to everybody. But there's certain people that he's like, you're not going anywhere, and you're one of them. So that's beautiful. Okay, all right, Easy Bands. We'll see you soon, brother. Let me see. We lost. Oh, my brother Rebel Ra. Oh, such a good brother, and he's just so patient. I'm gonna let you go ahead and go, Rebel Ra. You had me, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go listen to the playback. You had me sweating over here with that Easy Bands. You knew what you were doing. But anyway, go ahead, Rebel Ra. Go ahead, Rebel Ra.
Yeah, give thanks to the panel and give thanks to the HOK, don't know, every time. I've been listening for a minute and you know what I mean. So I just coming in not to say anything much. But just give me a little minute. Easy Bands, you don't know. Sekou going to cut you down like, whoa, but God bless you, I'm saying, but you know. But, you know, it's always nice to be on HOK with the nice family and, you know what I mean, wherever your thoughts be. This is why we come on here to have the controversy, but yet still the unity in thought, you know what I mean? So we love the family. Yet still Napah, I've been noticing, you know I mean, I like to take observation. Oh, bless up to the bridging Black Mills. You don't know Rastafari, I Selassie, Empress Mega, William Manuel, I Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
Rastafari, give thanks, bro.
Blessed every time.
Bless up.
Yeah.
I love the rosters. Come back in and teach. We need y'all to come in and teach. Everybody, I'm gonna play my song so Easy Bands can hear what I sang when I went on tour. I have a couple other songs too.
Hold on, Napah. I've been noticing your name, With Child, and I really not come to say it, but I come to ask you because I saw your video earlier on where you say, oh, I'm all their moms or something to that. So I'm like, okay, you all their moms, you're with
Yeah.
child. Like,
Yeah.
what is the growth? What is the name all about? What is the, you know what I mean? Because you know, say, hey,
Why
we
do I
like
say
you.
with child? You're very sharp. That's it. Like the woman is the one who's birthing. She births the information. She births out the existence. Easy Bands is gonna probably come in here and take his pinata stick and try to bust my pinata that I'm about to say. But we are the first worshipped mother, the first worship gods. We are the ones who bring. We make. You know how I say manifest.
Yeah.
We're the microcosm of what I say when I say the unfathomable God and everything manifests from it. Well, of course, the father has, I'm saying the male has something to do with that, but it is the mother who is with child concept. You know, when you conceive your concepts, so conceptualizing and all that good stuff. That's what I mean by with child. I'm not literally with child. No.
Yeah, but
So yeah.
360, you had them hands down, however you call the process, because all the youth, them Sanchez, and I like the Bridging Lex because him full up on knowledge and information, you know what I mean, from then to now. Doesn't matter which stand he take, but you know what I mean, I like his output and how he does things. But you have
Listen,
them hands down,
no,
Killer
Rebel
Priest, all
Ron.
of them. You had them hands down with
Thank you.
the
But Rebel Ron,
introduction
he's
of.
more subtle. He's more subtle than any other beast in the community. So I knew what he was up to when he was trying to say that.
I
When he
know
was
there's
saying that.
always technicality to Lex, because that's why I say there's layers to Lex. You know what I'm saying? I've listened to him through the community all around, and there's a lot of feedback he get, doesn't matter which platform he's on, because of his intellect and how he outputs what he studies. So you know what I mean? So I give him respect anyway, because I like them kind of minds. I like minds like yours too. I like
Oh
minds
yeah.
like Black Mills. I like your minds too, Bridging, but
Easy
I'm
Band.
not into the God thing, even though I hail Rastafari. I hail it from a secular level, because Emperor Haile Selassie I said, seek secular knowledge. And I'm not into just the theocracy of one thing. But as everything is, you have them hands down, and I'll sit down and just listen. Black Mills, blessed love,
Thank you
everybody.
so much. Before we go to Blackmail, I do want to respond to what you said about Lex. I don't know what I said at the beginning. I was kind of in a zone with Lex Vortex. I appreciate Lex Vortex immensely because he put me through hell in SVDL, but he is very, very knowledgeable. And he and I actually resonate in a lot. However, it's just like the story, like, you know, that yin yang, for some reason, whatever reason, we've always been just nemesis, like nemesis, I should say. He's my arch nemesis, but he's my friend too. He hates me immensely. Like he'll even get on the panels sometimes and do his rants. He used to really come for me in a negative way, but he's grown so much. But there was times when Lex he hated me so much. He would say, "I hate that witch. God, I hate her. I want her dead." But he's grown. And for me, I don't hate Lex at all. He's intelligent. I really appreciate him. But what he's not going to do is come in and try to usurp authority. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, with that said, go ahead. Go ahead, Blackmail.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Blackmail. That's my evil, sinister.
I give thanks to my teachers, which is Honorable Priest Isaac. He's been on this Saned a couple of times. I think Saned knows him personally. Who breaks down most of what I'm speaking of. You know, I'm like a student, I would tell you. But first, I would say, like I was talking about the sun. The sun is this, like if we're in the 20, today's what, the 24th or the 23rd, which is the winter solstice. If somebody wants to understand what age we're in, because you see a lot of people arguing about what age we're in, people telling you we're in the Pisces age or we're in the Aquarius age and these things. Every time the 21st of March comes, which is Aries, if you could stand up and you watch the constellations from where you are in the center, whatever constellation that you're seeing is the constellation which is the sun, and it's exactly where we at now. So yeah, I don't want to throw that around, but we're not really in the Aquarius age like people are saying. We're heading to it because these things take thousands of years when you understand astronomy. That's the difference with astronomy. When we watch the moving of the heavens and these things, and people don't really like astronomy because the figures are big. But we're a system, what we're in right
Theology,
now.
though. Astrology, right? Not a. You're kind of you're talking about the theological side of it, right? Astrology, not
You're right,
really
yeah.
astronomy. Okay.
Yeah, but
Just
it's the position
clarifying.
of the sun. What I was talking about, there is ages. Ages are, that's not
Oh
astrology,
yeah,
that's
that would be
astronomy.
astronomy. Yeah, with the
Yeah, that
solstice.
should
But
be,
I
yeah.
mean this the
You're
whole
right.
thing that you're talking about, like with the suns and the gods going around. I just
Yeah.
will you come on and teach, please? Can you come on and teach? You got my email, right?
Right, yeah, for sure.
Okay, go ahead. Say your final words, and then I'm gonna go. I
Yeah,
am gonna
so
close it down.
just like everything else, I'd say if you know your Bible, if you know your Kemetic culture, if you know your Quran, and you don't know astronomy, you don't understand geography, you don't understand the different levels of the science. When you go to these books, it's like you go into a fairy tale story because you don't understand the sciences. So they're not just books of like telling us like symbolic aspects that became literal, which it is, but you have to understand the scientific aspect of it. So that's why you see all these symbols like the ram being crucified in the aspect with Isaac and his father, which is Abraham, had to sacrifice Isaac, and God tell him no. Then he went and sacrificed a ram. If you watch in the whole Kemetic culture, you see some of the gods, even from the one in the Bible, Tahaka, you could see him as a ram head, which is what the same Aries I'm telling you about, which we are in the 23rd, 22nd, the sun going into that constellation. So they understood these things. So that's what they call the winter and summer solstice and all these things is the movement of your soul, because we had a full understanding of all these things, the aspect of when the moon is in a certain position, when the planets in position, what they could affect on the planet. Like for instance, the ram, we have that constellation which they call in the 88 constellations, we have that Cassiopeia, which is the Ethiopian queen, and it's like a W. And their moments, maybe according to what season we in, it's like a M. So what we call the ram in games like what we used to play like Scrabbles, what they call anagram, you could just shift the words or just turn them upside down. The ram stands for war. That's what's going on right now. You could see, and even on the 28th, if you all remember, the planets aligned on the 28th. I mean, if you're doing astronomy, you know all these things, so it's just a lot of symbolism, but it's really literal because the literalism is what's important. Like for instance,
Okay.
most of
I'm gonna
our
let you
books.
close out though. You got to get a couple
Yeah.
like last sentences in here because you also said some stuff that I love listening. But Cassiopeia is not Egyptian. I'm just gonna come in here a little. Keep going though. But
Yeah.
just trying to close this down. Thank you so much, Blackmail. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Get my email. Come in and do a lesson. We love you. We appreciate you as a Rasta. You could go and go and go. And you have free reign if you do your own show. Nobody will stop you. Come in. You don't have to share the mic or the panel, and we need you to do that. So you see my email? Do you see my email? Oh, let me drop you the bomb. She's Ethiopian according to Greek mythos. Cassiopeia is Ethiopian? I thought it was a Greek mythology. Yeah, I'm confused.
Yeah,
Okay, I get what you're
they
saying. I get what you're saying.
yeah, they
She's
copied
in
our
the
stories.
stories.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
she
what
is.
they
She
did.
is.
Yeah,
She is the queen
because
of
even though,
Ethiopia, I believe. She's the queen
yeah,
of Ethiopia. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I get what.
right.
Okay, so that's what you were saying. I got you.
Even Zeus was called an Ethiop, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
And
There you go.
and listen, Napa, just one last thing, just to see, just to show how, some aspects as we still have the remnants in our modern day time. The Ethiopian kings, which is the last set of kings in that same area we're talking about, Ethiopia and these places, which is Haile Selassie, Ras Menelik, and these things. The titles they had was Ras. So it's like, when you go and read the Greeks aspect of Ra, they're telling you that Ra son, which is Osiris Asa, was born in Ethiopia, although it's not this modern day Ethiopia where Haile Selassie is we're talking about, but just, it's poetic writings and prophecies, like you say. So you would see, they say, Ras Michael, like Haile Selassie father had that title. Just is this Ras, the children of Ra, Ras, Ra being a star in our modern day. The sun was just
I got
classified
you.
as a star recently, so it's rather star. So it's all
Thank you.
symbolism, esoteric messages in a modern day time. If you could read between the lines, you could see it. That's just all I could see. Bless.
Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you. Get that email and get in touch with me so we can do a show. With all that said, let's go ahead and close this out with the song that I want you to hear. It is old. You're right. Apprentice of Bobby Hemmett. I do have to get some more music, but I love it. So this is the song I was talking about. Easy Bands. We'll see you guys next time. Peace. And by the way, Jesus is the serpent in the garden of Genesis 3. All right. Peace, everybody.
Bless.
It's me like this at the mic. Diamond, the 33 vertebra, up the spinal curvature to the pineal merkaba that spins in my head and spread off the tongue and rhyme skills onto a vinyl circular. Became instant lords on liquid swords, the Bible determiner, the idol interpreter, the cycle of eartheners. I am Lord your God for worshipers. Merkaba. I ran out of room, I'm leaving the womb. I feel like I'm dying, I'm crying. Am I being pushed to my doom? I'm fading into life, draining from her waters, swimming, naming him Walter. Now I'm bathing in her light. I altered on the altar, the day walker, flaming into the night like fireworks that's vibrating 528 hertz. It's raining, the vibranium is ultra bright. Above my cranium, stars are shooting over. Nibiru exposure, meteor showers, supernovas. The meeting I supposed to write. Walking through the fire that was cold as ice. Poltergeist took a glimpse into infinity. Saw a blimp that flashed my memories. The airport was empty. A rare quartz Da Vinci. My pen leads symphonies. You'll all perceive eventually the orchestra of the August love in the orbits as a foreigner from the corners. Now she's in the forest with doves. Near lakeside, the waters with suds. Are you able to withstand quicksand on a remote island in the Bermuda Triangle during Mercury retrograde? But I'm verbally electro waves that echoes for days. Age, 1 foot in the threshold and 1 foot in the grave. Peaceful, I settle over the metal like sage. God switchblade for any witch or devil I made. I'll carve them up in 7 ways. The carbon dust, fluorescent rays. Placed them in a garden plush after 7 days. Napah sing.
Blood and flesh is always so expensive, but when you sacrifice the body, you can get this. Consciousness expanses exponential, while your union is internal and intensive. Butterfly effect is so connected. You see that I'm a wreck, are you affected? Your energy is here, you're so detected. Your body's gone, it hurts, but I accept it. Bow to all the angels of the sky, and I bow to that one spirit by my side. I bow to the unfathomable Most High. you.